Welcome to day 3 of the World Cup. It was a smashing victory for Sweden in their opener against Germany. Offense was the name of the game for the Swedes, scoring 5 goals on 42 shots. That's bad news for the Czech Republic, who couldn't find any rhythm in a shutout loss to Finland. The '98 Olympic champs were outmanned in Helsinki. Can the Czechs find their scoring touch in Stockholm? Or will Sweden be celebrating again? Find out next as the World Cup hockey rolls on ESPN. Welcome to day 3 of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. We've got a doubleheader today. Czech Republic taking on Sweden, and the nightcap, Slovakia and the unbeaten Canadian team. Very dapper, Barry Melrose.
Thank you.
I'm David Amber, and what a game we had last night. Canada squeaking out a 2-1 win against the U.S.
Well, it was everything we hoped it would be. There was a lot of intensity. We had fights. Even Mario Lemieux dropped the gloves and went at a couple of American players. We had controversy. The second goal actually hit the netting above, and if you know hockey, that's supposed to be a whistle as soon as it touches that. The Americans feel that they were maybe not cheated, but they didn't get a break. You're going to see the puck go up in the air, and in hockey, when it hits that netting at all, the whistle's supposed to blow, and the play's supposed to stop, and it's supposed to be a face-off. Mario actually pointed up to the netting to show that it hit, but the goal went in, and Canada got a break there. So the Americans will use that as motivation the next time they play. It was an awesome game. The Canadians today got to look for a letdown after playing the mighty Americans last night. They got to be ready to play the Slovakian team today, David.
Canada's going to be playing Slovakia tonight without Ed Jovanovski. He could be gone for the tournament. He got injured last night. Of note, though, Sweden and the Czech Republic, they're getting it on in a matter of moments right here on ESPN. JP Delacamera and Brian Engblom, they've got the call from Stockholm.
Thanks, David. Well, Team Sweden had to be pleased last night, Brian, with a majority of their game starting with the offense.
Yeah, they really got it going. From the first period to the third period, you could see they were really starting to fly. The Sundin line with Alfredsson and Modin in particular was outstanding. I thought they controlled the puck about 75 or 80% of the time that they had it, and they ended up with 7 points. I think that Sundin was the best guy on that line. But they still haven't solved the problems in goal. Tommy Salo did not have a good outing. He only allowed 2 goals, and yeah, one of them was on a breakaway, but I didn't think he played that one very well. And the other goal wasn't even really a shot on net. So I think that Sweden is still looking at who is going to be their goalie, and tonight it's going to be Michael Tellqvist.
As for the Czech Republic, they don't seem to have problems in goal, but they have problems everywhere else. They really struggled against Finland. 4-0 they lost.
I don't think they even showed up to play against Finland, so they know that. They want to get some offense going, and it's going to be 2 guys who played together a couple of years ago in New Jersey. Patrick Elias and Peter Sikora are going to be again together on the line tonight. Elias is just outstanding. Over the last couple of years, he's contributed. New Jersey Devils, he will again for this team. And Peter Sikora, the last 2 years in Anaheim, has been one of their best scorers as well. They're happy and comfortable playing together again.
Should have a good one tonight. Sweden versus the Czech Republic. But right now, let's go back to the studio. David and Barry.
All right, guys. Sweden, they've never finished better than 3rd in any Canada Cup / World Cup event. They were 3rd in '96. What does this game mean for them?
Well, it means everything, because you found out nothing about the German team. They were supposed to beat Germany. They beat Germany. They found out Salo isn't very sharp and Tellqvist is going in net. But today they're going to play a team, the Czechs, backs against the wall. They were terrible the first game. The Czechs got to respond with a little bit of motion in this game they never had in the first game. But the Swedes will find out about themselves against the Czechs.
And what will we find out about the Czech Republic? Well, we'll find out in a matter of moments. It's going to be a battle of former MVPs. Jaromir Jagr, Peter Forsberg. Will he be Peter the Great? Sweden fans hope so. Puck drops next. Welcome back to the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. Barry Melrose, David Amber, and for the second straight day, Barry, the NHL.
Which is good.
And the NHLPA are meeting in Montreal, trying to get some things resolved before the collective bargaining agreement expires September 15th.
I would like the players to make a proposal. The NHL are making all the proposals. The Player Association say none of these proposals are any good. It's supposed to be a partnership. It's supposed to be a union between the league, owners, and players. Let the players come and say, this is what we want, this is what we'll accept. Then we've got 2 areas. We've got the owners area, we've got the players area. Then we can start negotiating towards the center of the 2 situations.
And we're going to have representatives from both sides talking tonight on our nightcap when you have Canada and Slovakia, so we'll hear exactly what the PA and what the NHL has to say as far as the ongoing labor negotiations go. Barry, really quickly, Sweden, their stars look great in Game 1 against Germany. Their role players look pretty darn good as well.
Well, the Swedes have changed. They're not just talented guys now. They've got guys like Thomas Holmstrom, who goes to the front of the net and runs into people. Nielsen, players like that. They do have defensive players. They do have physical players. They do have big guys that run into guys. Now you add that to Sundins, you add that the talented players like Forsberg. They're a lot like the Canadian players now. They've got the grit, but they've also got the great skill.
And they've got the skill, and they've got the depth. The question
do
is,
they have the goaltender?
do they have the goaltending? Because now it is 24-year-old Michael Tellqvist who's between the pipes, not Tommy Salo. This guy's only played 14 career NHL games. How's he going to do?
I played more than that.
Coming your way.
Welcome back to Stockholm for the Toyota World Cup of Hockey with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Delacamera. Matt Sundin, who had the great game last night, gets ready to take this face-off. Sweden will be in the blue with yellow trim. The Czech Republic in white with red and blue trim. David Baborny out there getting ready to take this draw with Sundin. The goaltending change we had alluded to before. Tellqvist in goal, Bokun at the other end.
There is a decidedly different atmosphere here tonight. These fans are really charged up and ready to go to support their team against this Czech Republic team.
Sundin won the draw. Jonsson takes it over, fires it in, and already it goes out of play. First whistle, next face-off, neutral zone. We'll see how that emotion carries onto the ice because the building is rocking. Last night it was okay, but tonight rocking.
And this guy was a big reason it was rocking last night too. Matt Sundin was brilliant. This line that's starting for the Swedish team tonight, it was absolutely brilliant. They led the way. Alfredsson was terrific. Modin was terrific. They had 7 points in last night's game against Germany.
Yuri Slager, first man on it for the Czech Republic, playing it around the boards. Baborny of the Columbus Blue Jackets clears it to neutral ice. Sweden takes it over there at center. That's Sundin. Knocked down right there inside the line for the Czech Republic. Slager, who finished the year with the Boston Bruins, left side. Backhanded into the Swedish zone. Tellqvist leaves it off.
It'll be interesting to see who has most of the puck control. Sweden is excellent at controlling the puck. They proved that last night against Germany. I talked to some of the Czech players. They said, we're going to play more defense than offense, believe it or not.
This one hops around the boards. Jaromir Jagr's out for his first shift as the Czech Republic breaks it in over the line. Big slap shot is going to be stopped. The first tester on Tellqvist. It came from Martin Straka.
Marty Straka, who had 2 knee scopes last year during the regular season, he's actually had a terrifically bad time over the last 3 seasons. So many games lost to injury, 119 games over the last 3 years that Straka has missed due to injury. But he's flying here early, got a good shot. Tellqvist came out and shut down the angle.
Vinny Prospal tried to win that face-off back. Instead, it goes the other way. Jagr got it back, took a bit of a hit there in the neutral zone. Sweden will continue to dump it in. Jörgen Jonsson's line is out there. They were a good checking line last night. Had a few chances to score, but did not. Into the corner it goes. Sweden keeping it alive there. Andreas Johansson was blocked. Marek Zidlitsky, the Nashville Predators, played it up the boards. Kept in, and the quick shot deflected right onto Tomas Bokun. He holds on.
Tomas Bokun was probably the only guy that played really well against Finland. I mean, this Czech team just didn't show up. They said it themselves. It was probably their worst game since the 96 World Cup. Several of the players said that. This guy was excellent. If it weren't for him, they probably would have lost by about 11.
He made 30 saves in that game. Sweden won the draw off Bokun and now flipped out of the zone. Knocked down by Schornqvist at the center line, but the Czech Republic take over. Sikora dumps it in around the boards. Behind the net now into the opposite corner. Schornqvist is there checking into Elias. Sweden breaking out. Here they come. Near boards, Marcus Nilsson slowed down by the Czechs. Into the corner it goes. Very deep. Holmstrom was after it. Sweden continuing to move it along those boards off the Czech. Picked up there. Holmstrom towards the point. Oland kept it in. That one's knocked down off a glove. And the Czech Republic try to bring it out of the zone. This is going to go for an icing call. May not make it. Just barely gets over there. Schornqvist gets there. And the icing call is made.
Thomas Holmstrom was outstanding in last night's game as well. He plays such a simple game that fits in well when he's playing with all such star players. Goes to the front of the net, takes up incredible amount of room, scored a goal on the power play. He was so tough on Ole Kolzig, the German goaltender, and I don't expect it'll be any different tonight for Thomas Bokun. The game I was referring to for the Czechs in '96 in the World Cup was when they got beaten 7-1 by the Germans.
Shot is stopped in front by Bokun off the big drive by Kim Jonsson. Now on that left side, it's going to be dumped in by the Czech Republic. First man after it was Vlasic. Goes back around the opposite boards. The check made there by Chayanek. And the puck comes free out of the zone.
Well, the tempo of this game is so different than last night. The Germans just were trying to hold on to the Swedes all the time. There wasn't much puck possession. When I talked to the Czech players this morning, even guys like Peter Sikora, he said to me, well, we've been focusing on defense a lot, and I don't think we're going to play a lot of puck possession game. And he didn't seem to be, you know, shining me on by any means. He was just saying that's what we've been focusing on. Hey, that's how the Finns beat us.
Nice pass by Verborny over the line. Big shot steered away by Tellqvist and then cleared around the boards. Shot coming from Martin Havlat of the Ottawa Senators. Havlat battling there. He's coming off a career year with Ottawa. Zidlitsky couldn't keep it into the point. A break down that left side. Forsberg holds it. Takes the shot. Hit off the post. Peter Forsberg nearly had a goal there. And instead the Czech Republic come back on a 2-on-2. Dumped in there by Havlat. That has the crowd going again. Ruchinski tripped up there. No call. Flipped around the boards. Zetterberg takes it. The flip out of the zone. Neutralized. The Czech Republic get it back.
Any play like that made by any Swedish player will get him going, but when Peter Forsberg does it, it really gets him going. He is really a rock star here in Sweden. He made a terrific curl and drag move there, did everything but score.
Nordstrom out there without the helmet right now as the shot is blocked by Tellqvist. Rebound shot is stopped. There's still a loose puck in the slot. Nobody can find it, and now Ragnarsson banks it off the boards. Sent back in. Tellqvist has been tested more than Tommy Salo was certainly last night in the first period. And you could argue throughout the game, Salo only had to make a couple of big saves.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking. Already in this game, there have been more dangerous situations against Tellqvist than there were all last night against the Germans.
Flipped around those boards. Out of the zone. Backing it up, Schornquist. With Olin, his defense partner. Daniel Schornquist of the Atlanta Thrashers off a stick. It goes in deep. Bokun settles it there. Czech Republic changing on the fly. Up ice they come, but they don't gain that center line yet. Dumped in. Sikora was chasing it down. Picked up by Olin. And the icing call is made.
Well, this game's off to a terrific start, and a 2-on-1 after the puck jumped over Zidlitsky's stick, and you don't want to give this guy any chances. Peter Forsberg, he has Naslund going to the net on the far side, which creates the opportunity for him. It was Jiri Fischer that was the lone man back defenseman. He did have a back checker, but he played it like a 2-on-1, and when he tried to reach out, that's when Forsberg did little curl and drag and executed everything except putting it between the pipes.
Czech Republic have already had more scoring chances in this first period than they had in the entire period the other night. Back hit by Holmstrom is stopped by Bokun. And the whistle will stop play as the bodies get together.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on with this Czech team, and it always seems to happen in international competitions. In the first game against the Finns, they did not dress Hammerlick or Caberlet. They're number 1 and 2 defensemen. That amazed me. There was no explanation. They aren't hurt. In tonight's game, Josef Wasacek, Radek Dvorak, and Milan Hajduk are not dressed for the Czech team. They are not injured. So I don't know what Vladimir Ruzicka, the coach for the Czech team, is doing, whether he's trying to anger them. He says he's just trying to get everybody into the competition. But the Swedish players, when they told that Milan Hajduk wasn't playing in this game, their jaws dropped right to the floor.
We were all surprised, you and I, players on both teams.
So was Milan.
Yes. Here's the long shot. Tellqvist again, but he coughed it up in the middle. In the slot, backhanded over by Dopita. And it'll be a face-off coming up. That one hit the netting behind Tellqvist, who's been really challenged in the first period, unlike the other night in that Finland game where the Czechs only had 12 total shots for the game.
They didn't play very well. So maybe Vladimir Ruzicka is just trying to get them going. Maybe he's trying to get them angry. Maybe he's trying to get them motivated that way. But all I know is I got a very confused feeling from the Czech players here this morning. And Ruzicka seemed to be just in a horrible mood all day.
When we left, they were going into a team meeting, so you kind of wonder what was maybe said there. Here is Sweden digging it free behind the net. Scoreless opening period from Stockholm. Turnaround Alfredson is saved by Bokun. So the goaltenders are getting it done at both ends of the ice. It's pretty wide open at the start.
The interesting thing about this Sundin line with Sundin, Modin, and Alfredson, Modin and Sundin are both huge men. Alfredson's a good size, but he's the one actually in last night's game and in tonight's game is actually more effective down low in the tough areas than the other two guys are.
Havlat looking to set up. He came around or tried to, but it was poke checked away from him. Wanted to make that big move in front. Instead, Naslund's pass. Lidstrom fires it up for Forsberg. He holds. That one's deflected, knocked down. Czech Republic skating back with it. Over that center line. Ruchinski took the hit from Ragnarsson as it's dumped in behind Tellqvist.
I think we're going to see more from this big line of Sweden in tonight's game with Naslund, Forsberg, and Zetterberg. They were fairly quiet, still sort of working out the chemistry thing last night. They look like they got some jump tonight.
Icing is the call. It is scoreless in the opening period between Sweden and the Czech Republic.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And The Lady Killers, the laugh out loud comedy coming to DVD September 7th.
Back inside the Globe Arena in Stockholm. A quick whistle will be another face-off coming up in the Sweden zone. You're watching our continued coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey, Sweden and the Czech Republic. Right now, if Sweden were to win this game or even get a tie, they would take over first place in the European pool, with Finland being idle tonight. Off that draw, Slager. Weak shot stopped there and cleared out in one motion by Ragnarsson. Played forward and then lost there. Sweden getting it back, and then they'll just dump it in. Long chase for it, picked up by Caberlet. Flip out pass, near side. Yager played it back. Not a good pass at all. Caberlet, the Toronto Maple Leafs, recovers.
Thomas Caberlet, excuse me, JP. Thomas Caberlet is excellent at moving the puck out of the zone, and that'll be big for the Czechs in this game. Because the Swedes are so good with the puck, especially in the offensive zone, guys like Caberlet and Hammerlick for the Czech defense, if they can move the puck up to the forwards, it'll be a huge boost for them in playing against the Swedish team.
Nielsen just took the hit along those boards by big Yuri Fischer, all 6'5", 225 of them. Behind the net, Holmstrom, who plays in the same Detroit team as Fischer, works it around Zidlitsky. Back behind the net. Fischer gets it off those boards, kept in by Matthias Ohlund to the corner again. Holmstrom looking. Played it off the boards. Paulson was trying to keep it in play. Instead, it rolls over. Elias attempted breakout pass for his former Devil line mate Sikora. Instead, it goes off the boards. Sikora getting it back from Reichel. Back out. Quick shot by Elias. He partially fans. It goes in behind the net. Fast-paced opening period. Under 12 minutes to go in it. Held up there on the far side by Ohlund. Backhands it in. Both teams making changes. You might think that Sweden will change more often tonight. They played last night. Czech Republic was idle. Here's a long shot by Lidstrom. It's stopped in front and poked to the corner. Flipped along those boards. Lidstrom fakes the big shot. Played it in front, and it's deflected. Alfred's into the corner. Banged along the boards. Modin after it, too. The Lightning left winger plays it behind the net. Taking the puck away from him. Crowd loves him here like they do Forsberg. Those two got the biggest ovation at the start of the night.
That was really good work by the Czechs, though. Sundin is so tough to play against. He had no chance to walk out in front of the net the way he wanted to.
Vlasic in the corner. Broken up there. Out at the left point. Quick shot redirected over the top. Near boards, Czech Republic with Vlasic keeping it alive there. Luczynski holds. Plays it in front. Shot was wide by Caberlet, who was joining the play. Banged off those boards. Czech Republic coming back. Sweden with a quick change there. Nordstrom gets it. Far boards. Snapped into the zone. That one is whistled down. ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey coming your way tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 7 p.m. Team Canada looks to go to 2-0 as they face off against Pavel Dimitra and Slovakia. And tomorrow, Team USA tries to rebound from their tough loss to the Canadians against Alex Kovalov, Alexei Yashin, and the rest of Team Russia. Also coming your way at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's the Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2. And from all reports, what a game that was. Brian Engblom last night with the USA and Canada.
Oh, yeah. And all the players here, they want to know, you know, they were asking us questions. What happened? What happened? They didn't get a chance to see it, most of them here. Some of the Swedish players were able to watch a little of the Canada-US game, but most of the other guys couldn't. They want to know everything that happened, what kind of details we had. Great stuff from what we heard, and Canada with their first win in the tournament.
Sweden in this game out shooting the Czechs 8-7. Zetterberg, nice cut inside. Oh! What a move, but it was stopped. Oh, Zetterberg, a great move on goal. Forsberg gets it back. Forsberg holds it. In traffic, kept in there by Nordstrom at the point. Forsberg looking for it. It comes out to the right point. Ragnarsson keeps it alive, working it around the boards. Forsberg takes the hit there. Caberlet's over there after it. It hops in front of the slot. Clear it out to the left boards and then sent down ice. All the way down ice by the Czech Republic. It would have been icing. Hellqvist got it waved off. Zetterberg after it.
The big line is really going for Sweden. It's as if because the Sundin line carried them last night, the Forsberg, Naslund, Zetterberg line sort of backed off. It just sort of worked on their timing last night. That's the way it appeared. Now they're ready to carry the load, and they are right here.
Hellqvist stopping that shot from the point. Jonsson chased by Jágr, left for Ragnarsson. A giveaway there. Quick shot redirected wide off Jágr's stick. Straka after it. Now it is Jágr looking for Straka. Prospel there too. Marty Straka coming out. Couldn't get a shot off. Looks to play it out to the point. Back for Straka. Left circle blocked. He's plowed over there by Ola. A quick shot off Jágr. And now breaking out of the pack. Axelsson over the line. Takes the wrister wide of Okun. Looked like it handcuffed him. Along the far boards, the Czech Republic will just be content to ice it on the next touch. We'll have the icing call. Breaking the action, great opening period, although we haven't seen a goal yet between Sweden and the Czech Republic. Back to our coverage from Stockholm. This is the Toyota World Cup of Hockey off the draw. Sweden will take it in with Jonsson. Forehand shot went wide of the net, but Jonsson will be able to follow it up on his own. Flips it around the boards for Modin. Freddie Modin looking to come around. Forced wide. Tied up there along the far boards. Alfredsson keeps it going. Sweden have their big line out there led by the centerman Sundin. Modin leaves it. Sundin tied up by Reichel. Left there. Sundin getting some help. Alfredsson skating into the corner. Roman Hammerlick checking into him. A deflected puck goes behind the net to Sundin. Coming out forehand pass. Modin! And it rolled in. Sweden scores.
The Sundin line rolling again. They're the ones that carried them last night. And this is just a couple of big men, unstoppable down low. Freddie Modin is big, strong. He's got terrific instincts. And he's just playing with two guys who are so good on the puck. Look at Matt Sundin control it and work bodies. And Modin getting inside position, coming off the far wall. That was the key there. He didn't need his second chance. See, he gets to the net first. And even though he is checked a little bit from behind, when you're in the groove and you got the magic touch going, those ones go in. Freddie Modin, his second goal already in this World Cup.
Meanwhile, Matt Sundin gets an assist. It is Sundin's third assist and fourth point in 2 nights. That's a big goal for Sweden in a pretty even opening period. First goal might be very important tonight.
Absolutely. And for the Czechs, you know, they had Robert Reichel and Elias and Sikora out there against that Sundin line. And Robert Reichel, who plays with Sundin with the Toronto Maple Leafs, would know his tendencies. But Robert Reichel is not big enough to play against Sundin, and it really showed in the last shift or two.
He's 5'10", Reichel. Sundin listed at 6'5".
Yeah.
So Sweden, like they did last night, first goal. Czech Republic looking for this. Instead, Forsberg skates 1 against 2. Forsberg tries to go wide. Now played by Slager. Right between the point men it goes. Tellqvist is way out to help the offense. Ragnarsson picked off. Tellqvist has to skate back and a goal. Quick shot save. Tellqvist there, stopping Jágr.
Tellqvist looks really sharp. I mean, he's really come out and challenged. He's been 4 or 5, 6 feet out above the paint on every angle shot. Very aggressive, and he's looked confident, and he's perfect so far.
It's an important game for Tellqvist because that #1 spot is up for grabs. Salo played last night, Tellqvist tonight. Into the corner. Centering pass by Johansson is blocked. Touch pass intercepted. Jürgen Jonsson, ex-Islander, broken up there by Vlasic. Czech Republic skating back on the left side. Bill Peter comes back to the neutral zone.
At this moment, Michael Tellqvist definitely has the inside track as the goalie for Sweden. Even though Salo won yesterday, he didn't look very sharp at all, and Tellqvist has already looked way sharper. We talked about the Swedish situation. Great forwards, great defense. Weren't sure who was going to be the goalie. Tellqvist is the guy right now.
Offside called as Chayanek was in over the line.
The Czechs have really come to play here. They've really struggled in Canada Cup and World Cup situations. They've lost their last 8 games in this type of tournament, and it's embarrassment to them. I referred earlier to in '96 when they lost to the Germans. The Germans knocked them out of the medal round in a 7-1 debacle. The Germans called it a game for 100 years for them. And they knew that everything went just right and everything went absolutely wrong for the Czechs. The Czechs got off to a bad start in this tournament, but again, they didn't play their top 2 defensemen. In this game, they don't have Milan Hajduk. A lot of us have been speculating that it's a little bit of a throwback to the old days when the Russians and the Czechs were accused of a little bit of a rope-a-dope, you know, in the early rounds, because really these first couple of games don't matter in the standings. In international competition, you have to win the right games. And Jaromir Jagr referred to that this morning, actually, and he said, look, last year in the World Championships, we won 3 straight games, and then we lost the wrong one. So their focus is on Game 4.
Right. Game 4 is the must-win. That's the knockout round quarterfinals. All 4 teams in both pools will qualify for the playoffs.
It's
Team 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
It's a really dangerous way to go, though. If you think you're going to really monkey around and take good players in and out and maybe try not to show exactly what your team is all about and then try to step on the gas in that key game, you better be right or you won't get a second chance. I'm talking about the coaches now.
Flipped by the Czech Republic, not out of the zone, kept in by Sweden. They want to put the pressure on. Holmstrom around the boards. Marcus Nilsson back for Holmstrom. Along the left boards, Paulson looks forward and comes back into the corner. Nilsson takes the hard hit there, fights off of it. Kept in at the point. High shot knocked down in the slot. Backhanded away by Hammerlick. Schonfrist pass up to Holmstrom. He paid the price with that check. Hammerlick, backhand flip, a bouncer in deep. It's going to be another icing call as it's touched right there by Jonsson. Sweden leads the Czech Republic 1-0 here in the opening period. This is the Toyota World Cup of Hockey coming your way from Stockholm with Brian Engblom. I'm JP Delacamera. Matt Sundin will take this face-off, but this time against Dopita, who was in for Robert Reichel on that last draw. Obviously, they saw what you saw.
And now they just changed it again. So he was out there for the face-off. They got the puck out of the zone, and Robert Reichel did come back. So they like to play Reichel with Elias and Sikora because he's a better playmaker than Dopita is at Dopita's age. But they're worried about Sundin down low already.
Here's Alfredsson over the line, walking in, trying to play it over. That was deflected, and the Czech Republic get it back. They've had 8 shots in the first period. The Czechs have. They had 12 total the other night against Finland. Flip along the boards. Sweden moving it. That was Lidstrom to Jonsson. Under 5 minutes left in this fast-moving opening period. A completely different period than we saw last night. Alfredsson was tied up. Czechs played up. Straka the touch passes. He dropped it there for Zidlitsky. Zidlitsky coming off a strong rookie year with Nashville.
Zidlitsky's a heck of a defenseman. He caught a lot of people by surprise in his rookie year in the National Hockey League. They won't be surprised this year. And the Swedes are going to have to keep track of number 3 from the Czech Republic, because when he jumps up in the play, he can make things happen.
Off the touch, that one's going for an icing. ESPN2 brings you more World Cup hockey action tomorrow. First round action continues. It starts at 1:30 when Finland looks to continue their winning ways. They're in Cologne to take on Germany. Then at 7 p.m., Team USA looks for their first win against the high-flying Russians with Ilya Kovalchuk on board. It's the Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2. Jagr holding it now as he tried to come out in front, hit the side netting, had no angle there. Straka behind the nets. Marty Straka comes out, couldn't get a shot off that was decent. It was deflected on the far boards. That's Straka, now with the LA Kings after a trade last year from Pittsburgh. Jagr tied up by Nordstrom. Puck is still free. Prospel is in there, so is Zetterberg. The 2 number 40s battle. Prospel takes it, played it in the slot, and partially fanning on it with Straka. The puck back in the neutral zone.
What a terrific combination of talent for that Czech line.
With this break in the action, we head back to David Amber and Barry Melrose in our ESPN studios.
All right, guys, coming up in the Toyota intermission, we'll be obviously going
taking a look at this game, we'll also be taking a look back at Canada's big win last night against the U.S.
Well, that was a great game last night. Canada and the United States were both super, played very hard, which we thought would happen. All the games against those two teams would be like that. And I, for one, love to see the Czechs playing hard, so it's nice to see them compete a little bit.
All right, that'll be coming your way in just a matter of moments right here in the ESPN studios. Guys.
Back in Stockholm, Team Sweden leading over the Czech Republic 1-0 still in the first period. Quick shot, Tellqvist stopped that one, and he hung on for dear life. So there was no rebound.
The Czechs are starting to get some motion going now. They're starting to get some feel to the game. Remember, they were so far off it in their first game against Finland and almost didn't count. They haven't had the puck a lot in this game, but they certainly have been very dangerous. And what they're doing is they're activating their defense. That guy, Roman Hamrlik, is one of the best in the game. He knows when to jump up. He can score goals. He almost did it there. Tellqvist had to recover at the last minute as Hamrlik was jumping in. They got by the Swedish defenders.
Back to live action along the circle it goes for Vlasic in front. Saved again by Tellqvist. Stopped by Jonsson, who tries to help him out. A delayed penalty here, and it's going to be against Sharnqvist for holding. So the Czech Republic will have only their second power play of this tournament. They were 0 for 1 the other night against Finland. Now they'll have an opportunity.
When you have this much skill in a tournament like this, these two teams' penalties are going to be huge. And Sharnqvist, number 36 in blue, takes the first penalty here of this game. So the Czech Republic gets to come out and try it first. They're going to send out Jaromír Jágr with Vyborný and Straka up front. And these guys' ability to move it down low, you know they want to get it to 68, Jaromír Jágr, because he's good in any type of situation, whether it's in traffic or getting open in the slot.
Meanwhile, Sweden 4 for 4 last night on the penalty kill. 16:52 the time of the Sharnqvist penalty for holding. Czech Republic with a power play and a chance to draw even here. Lead pass to center. Now it's to Jágr in the off wing. He'll flip it into the zone. Tellqvist gave it away. It was rolling behind the net. Straka to Jágr at the circle. Jágr holding, controlling, snapped it in off Tellqvist. Straka again. Vyborný set up in front of the net. Jágr goes there in front now, but the puck is not delivered. Flipped around those boards. Dug free. Jágr fights back. Sundin gave him a pop, and now the puck is clear.
I think these defensemen on the point for the Czech Republic are going to be really key, especially in this power play. So much focus down low on Jágr and Straka and everybody. You got Zidlitsky and guys like Kaberle jumping in from the point. That's going to be key for the Czechs.
Watch for Zidlitsky. He's especially strong in the power play. Sending it back left point. Big shot way up high. Had everybody ducking in front. Back in the circle for Jágr. Holding it. Right out in front. Straka sent it along. Less than a minute to go on the man advantage, and Sweden will dump it. And change on the fly. Czech Republic will make changes as well. Bokun gives it off. Roman Hamrlik leaves it for Robert Reichel. 1-0 Sweden leading. Team Jonsson couldn't backhand it out of the zone. Kept in there, snapped wide of Tellqvist. Along the boards, near the point. Sweden takes it over. Naslund with Zetterberg. Holds it. Delayed penalty here. Loose puck, and Czech Republic are going to lose a man.
Isn't it nice when you can kill penalties with Marcus Naslund and Henrik Zetterberg? Oh, my goodness. And they get a chance because of it. Marcus Naslund wasn't quite as sharp as he probably would be another month from now. He did a great job controlling the puck, but then at the last minute when he wanted to pull the trigger, this one just kind of got away from him. Look at this. Pushes the defenseman back, tries to put the brakes on, and yeah, he was tied up, but he'd already lost the puck before that. Hamrlik was the defender there, number 4. He had to back off on the play. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ice, Zetterberg was going to the front of the net, and Martin Rucinski had to pull him down. But the ability of Zetterberg to spring Naslund put the fear of God in that power play of the Czech Republic.
18:38 the time of the hooking penalty on Rucinski. It's 4-on-4 hockey for another 7 or so seconds. And then Sweden will have a power play for the rest of the period, unless they score first. Naslund's pass, he finds Sundin in stride. Sundin, big slapper over the glove of Bokun. It's an advantage here for Sweden. 5 on 4. And the Czech Republic will dump it. Less than a minute to go in the period. But by Tellqvist. Lidstrom. Naslund. Marcus Naslund had 8 shots on goal last night.
And he was very selective. He probably could have had another 4 or 5 shots. He passed up some really good opportunities because they were just sort of experimenting and getting a feel for what they wanted to do on the power play. 4 forwards on this power play unit. Lidstrom, the only D-man.
Forsberg leaves it off. Naslund trying to keep it in. It comes free, neutral ice. Backhand flip the other way. Lead pass, nice touch. Sundin on the off wing. Backhand pass. Nobody could get to this until Lidstrom picks it up at the point. At the far circle, time running out of the period. Lidstrom. I thought he made a nice move there, but apparently it crossed over.
You know,
Offside.
Peter Chyanek made a really good defensive play there. I mean, he had to read where most of the talent was going into the open area. Sundin was taking the puck wide, and he quickly threw it back on a backhand pass against the grain into the slot. Chyanek was the guy reading it and figuring it out, and he's the one that got to Forsberg and lifted the stick so they couldn't get a good scoring chance. So many weapons going in so many different directions for the Swede. You need guys who can sort that all out, and Peter Chyanek did a terrific job of that in that last sequence.
Zetterberg was waved out of that face-off. It comes to Alfredsson with time running out in the period. Power play continuing on for another few seconds, and it will carry over into the next period. As it's dumped back in, Tellqvist will just stop it, and that'll do it for this opening period of play. Fredrik Modin has the game's only goal as Sweden leads the Czech Republic 1-0 after 1 period of play from Stockholm.
Welcome to the Toyota Intermission Report. Barry Melrose and David Amber. Sweden with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a goal by Freddie Modin. And really a gutsy move by Swedish head coach Hardy Nilsson, starting 24-year-old Michael Tellqvist. So far, so good.
I think they had to. I think they gave Salo the chance. He wasn't great in the first game, even was against Germany. Both goals were suspect. I think they realized they can't win this championship with Salo in net. So Tellqvist, and he's played very well. He's moving well. Swedes are going to score a ton of goals. The Czechs on the other side, they're competing better. They're competing harder. They look like they care a little bit, but they still haven't scored a goal in 4 games. Now, they don't dress Milan Hajduk, arguably one of the best 2 or 3 goal scorers in the NHL. That's like going to a fight and not taking Mike Tyson along with you. Czechs are very, very hard to figure out on the ice and behind the bench.
If you're Vladimir Ruzicka, what do you tell your Czech team? As you say, they haven't scored a goal yet.
Well, things are better because they're competing, and they had a couple chances. Yager was much more active. He had the puck a little bit. You're still not hearing Eliash's name enough, Sikora's name enough, Straka's name enough. They had a power play there. They never really had a good scoring chance. So the Czechs, again, are a hard team because they do not compete the way they should have. This team competed and played as hard as their opposition. This team, on paper, is as talented, if not more so, than any other team in the championship, probably next to Canadians.
Both Tellqvist and Vokun looking very good today. We saw 2 pretty good goaltenders last night, though, in Robert Esche and Martin Brodeur. Canada and the U.S. kicking off their World Cup play in Montreal. The defending champs in a little bit of trouble in this one. They come out looking to defend their title, but Mario and the gang had other ideas, and it got started with Martin St. Louis.
Well, St. Louis gets a nice pass from Thornton. That line was dangerous every time they stepped on the ice. I love the fact Canada's got Canada on the back instead of the name of the players. I thought the story of the game was Robert Esche. He went into the game a question mark. He finished the game, certainly a stabilizing factor, and really the only reason this game was close in the first period. Canada had 19 shots in the first period, a lot of them very tough. Esche moved very well, controlled the rebounds, had a lot of poise for a young goaltender, first international experience.
Esche looked phenomenal, but he was beaten there. Another power play goal, courtesy of Joe Sakic, giving Canada a 2-0 lead. U.S., though, did get on the board.
That's vintage Billy Guerin. Great pass from the corner, good quick shot. Marty Brodeur did not have a lot of work, but when he needed a save, he gave it. Right here, Mario Lemieux looks more like Claude Lemieux, but that's what international hockey does. When Canadians and Americans are playing for their country, the emotions heat up, the aggressiveness heats up, sticking up for each other. That was great to see Mario do that. It was an awesome game. It was exciting. It could easily have been 5-4, 6-5. Both goaltenders were excellent.
So the defending Olympic champs beat the defending World Cup champs 2-1 your final. These 2 teams could be meeting in a gold medal game down the road. We will keep our eyes posted for that. Here's our ESPN broadcast crew from last night's game with their post-game thoughts.
In Montreal, Team Canada would come away with a 2-1 win, a game that had Team Canada dominating early, then Team USA battled back. They took advantage of it, and then a third period where teams played pretty much even.
And it was interesting that penalty trouble is what really got Team USA behind the 8 ball, and they did it early, and when you're playing against Team Canada as deep as they are, any kind of penalty is going to be trouble. So Team Canada got on the board with a couple of power play goals. The first one by Marty St. Louis of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Joe Thornton assisted on it. Then Joe Sakic, the great power play quarterback from the point, made it 2-zip. Then the frustration kind of took over for Team USA, and at some point you wondered, well, where was this going to go? This is just a bunch of emotion boiling over. Well, where it went was kind of a concerted effort to get back in the game. And Billy Guerin narrowed the gap 2-1. Great pass from Scott Gomez out of the corner, but it was just a little bit too little too late. Team Canada finally dug in when they had to, and they were able to hang on. And the final analysis, if you looked at the overall of the game, Team Canada was a better team.
JR, impressions?
Well, I thought this was a very tough way for the USA to start. They're playing in Montreal, in Canada. You can tell that Canada came out with so much emotion. They were feeding off all the crowd, all the yelling, all the screaming. The power plays, as Bill mentioned, were huge for Canada. U.S. started really, really slow. Robert Esche played absolutely unbelievable in his first World Cup game ever. A young kid, but with the talent, he really showed that he's going to be the goalie of the future. With Mike Modano going down, I think it's huge that USA really bounces back, and they can remember everybody goes to the quarterfinals, so it's important that they go back and meet the Russians and make sure they get bounced back onto the ball here.
Team Canada gets the first W for them as they come away with a 2-1 win, and for Mario, their captain, a night where even he got involved physically, renewing old acquaintances with Mr. Konowalchuk. That's kind of the way this game is played. Team Canada 2, Team USA 1.
Guys, it was a fantastic game, which we saw on ESPN2, and this is going to really be a battle of attrition over the next 2 weeks. We're already seeing injuries taking their tolls.
Well, these two teams are glad they don't play each other again for a little while because it is such a physical game. But now Hatcher's out for the Americans, Leopold's out for the Americans on defense. Schneider didn't come to camp. On the Canadian side, Blake couldn't play, Pronger couldn't play. Jovanovski got hurt last night. That's a huge blow to the Canadian defense. So the young guys in the Canadian defense are going to see more ice time, more key ice time. Guys like Niedermeyer and the veteran defenseman, him and Foote, will even see more specialized ice time for the Canadian team. So these two teams, it was a great game. I can't wait till they play again.
Last man standing might win this thing, but right now it's Canada with the edge on the US of A. In this game, it's Sweden with the edge on the Czech Republic. Freddie Modin's second goal of the tournament. Sweden on top, 1-0. Last night, Team USA began defense of its World Cup title, but they lost 2-1 to Canada. Could have used some scoring punch from the likes of maybe Jeremy Roenick. 475 career goals, but he's out of this tournament due to injuries he suffered during the season. Now, in the last couple of weeks, JR has been making headlines for his gambling debts that he's racked up. Some are calling it excessive gambling. Last night, he addressed that topic with our own Steve Levy.
What's the last time you placed a bet on a game, on a football game, whatever?
January.
Think you'll ever bet again?
Will I bet again? I can't.
On sports?
I can't say no. I mean, if I go up to Vegas with my buddies or with my wife and stuff and pass by a sports book and want to throw 500 in a sports book, I can't say I'd never do that, but the odds are probably very, very, very high against it.
And Barry, Jeremy also in that interview spoke up and saying he doesn't think this is a big deal at all, so he gambles a little bit. What do you think?
As long as he doesn't bet on hockey or talk to people that bet about hockey, I don't think there's any problem here. I think everybody in the United States bets on football. I think it's part of our culture now. And I really think that if JR believes he didn't do anything wrong, he shouldn't have to change his lifestyle because of this. It's a no story as far as I'm concerned. This guy plays hard. He gives his heart and soul to the people in Philadelphia, whoever he plays for every night. They know that. This is what hockey's all about, a guy like this, so I don't think he should change his life because some reporter thinks that. And again, $100,000 to Jeremy Roenick is not like $100,000 to peons like me and you. It's not that big a deal.
Don't lump me in with you. You've played in the NHL, but to me, yeah, there's a big difference. Let's get back talking hockey, and tonight we're going to have the second part of our double dip. We'll have Canada taking on Slovakia, and of course Sweden right now leading the Czech Republic 1-0 through 20 minutes. Ready to drop the puck on period 2. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey rolls your way on ESPN.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized.
Welcome back to Stockholm in the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. When the second period starts, another 38 seconds on the power play for Team Sweden, who lead 1-0. Last night, Sweden were 2 for 7 on the power play, but they gave up 2 shorthanded goals. We had a great first period here tonight. Both teams were jumping.
Oh, it was great action. This is what hockey's all about, folks. This is some of the best hockey you're ever going to see in your lifetime. I mean, this is the best players in the world squared off against each other in a terrific environment here in Sweden. Mats Sundin is a local hero. You just saw Marcus Naslund a moment ago. They have a chance on the power play here to go up by 2 goals, and Naslund will be a key figure in that respect. It looks like they're going to put Peter Forsberg back on the point for a change. That's a little bit unusual. Usually, it might be just for the face-off. We'll see, because usually it's Marcus Naslund back there.
Off that draw, it's dumped in on goal. Tellqvist is right there. About a half a minute to go on this power play for Sweden. They're in blue if you're just joining us. Czech Republic in white with the red and blue trim. Team Sweden advancing over the line. Marcus Naslund leaves it off. Sent in along those boards by Holmstrom. In the corner, the battle goes on. Held up there by Forsberg. Flipped up, and it's going to be taken away. Czech Republic, Vaborny leads it in. Chayanek missed the net on that break. And apparently that one hit the netting there. It's going to come back out. 1 second left on that power play. But remember last night, 2 short-handed goals given up by Sweden. It could have been another one here.
Yeah, Peter Chayanek's been really good in this game so far. He's been effective killing penalties. And this time, last shift, Matt Sundin, bottom of your screen, number 13. He just stumbles and falls going from forwards to backwards. That's Chayanek on the fly. Tried to pick the far corner and just pulled a little bit too much with the right hand.
Back to full and equal strength. 5-on-5 hockey near board. Sweden will try to clear it out of the zone. And they do. A race for the puck. Johnson's after it. Deflected away. Prospel banged along the boards. Picked up by Prospel again. Yager. Now with the New York Rangers off those boards. He wanted Straka. That's blocked. Prospel kept it alive. Nordstrom sends it the other way to Ragnarsson, his defense partner for Sweden. Banged out to the neutral zone. Axelsson was after it. PJ Axelsson last night blocked the shot, and we thought he was going to be done for the night. Maybe even today. He's back skating well.
He left early in that German game. He got hit, looked like right on the top of the foot or the side of the foot, but he's fine and back playing again.
Delayed penalty, and now it's going to be called as Yuri Slager makes the touch. There's a hooking call.
Andreas Johansson drew that penalty. This is a bad penalty here for Slager.
So Yuri will sit out 2, and it'll be another power play for Sweden, who are 0 for 2 so far tonight.
Yeah, there wasn't really any reason for this one. He did pull a little, yeah, and Andreas Johansson played it up. But anytime you get the stick up under the arm like that and near the face area, you're going to get called.
Face-off will be to the left side of Thomas Vokoun.
See, Henrik Zetterberg out there for Sweden. He shaved that beard right down last night. Henrik Zetterberg's beard. He had more hair on his face than Daniel Alfredsson, Marcus Ragnarsson, and Matthias Nordstrom had in their head combined. But it looks like he's gone with a more streamlined look now.
Zetterberg in for this draw with Kopita. Deflects free. The Czechs clear it down the length of the ice. Tellqvist will leave it for Kim Jonsson, who's out there at the point with Matthias Olin. Play it left side up for Alfredsson. He'll dump it in off the backhand. Czechs getting there first, but now it's Alfredsson. Good recovery. Quick shot deflected and stopped by Vokoun. The whistle will stop play. Thomas Vokoun, sharp the other night, has to be sharp again tonight.
Something you notice about great star players with the puck, they're so calm. And the Swedish team is really showing that here tonight, and particularly on their power play. They're not in a hurry getting in the zone. They're not in a hurry when they're being confronted by a Czech player. They're just making the right plays and getting the puck to the net, and there's a good timing pattern going to net. They get a bit of a deflection. Good job by Vokoun.
Sweden will play at far boards. Center point, Olin's shot redirected to the corner. Zetterberg, nice move. Czech Republic bought that fake. Zetterberg out to the point. Jonsson, left side. Olin, big shot. Knocked wide of the goaltender, Vokoun. Along those boards, the Czechs look to clear it. Kept in again at the point by Jonsson. Heads up play there. Moved by Modin, and now sent the other way by the Czech Republic on the clear down ice.
You can see the opinion they have of young Henrik Zetterberg, and for good reason. The kid has terrific talent, but he gets a lot of ice time in a lot of situations, and he gets to play with all the very best players.
Gaining the center line and a simple dump in. Vokoun left it there. Zidlitsky, he's tied up, has some help. Stolen by Holmstrom, in front, quick shot, score. Sweden are back on the board. Forsberg, 2-0.
Well, the Czechs finally made a really big mistake, and they got caught with everybody spread out and in the corners, and nobody, I mean nobody, was in front of the net. Thomas Holmstrom walked out to the front with the puck, and he did a smart thing. He gave it to number 21, Peter Forsberg. Thomas said, yeah, here, you take it, Peter. Great play, smart play by Holmstrom. Forsberg doesn't need a second chance. But the Czechs got all crossed up. They had one guy behind the net, two guys in the corner, and the forwards coming down to the point trying to catch Forsberg with just too little too late.
Power play goal for Peter Forsberg at 3:58. Holmstrom will get an assist on the play as Sweden leads 2-0. Quick whistle from the opposite side, trailing referee on the penalty.
Yeah, somebody got a stick up there. Oh, I guess they just knocked the puck. Oh, no, it is going to be a penalty, I think.
Doors open, yeah.
One of the Czech players got clipped in the face.
Robert Reichel's going.
Holy smokes. Because it was one of his players that looked like he almost got cut. I couldn't catch who it was. But a few players had their sticks up trying to play. And Robert Reichel definitely shaking his head. Okay, well, that's where the call was. That was initially on the hit. Reichel had his stick up, and he gets 2 minutes. So the Swedes come right back on a power play.
Forsberg, careful with the puck, brings it over the line, and apparently too careful. One of his line mates jumped offside.
And Thomas Holmstrom was pretty smart on that last play. Gives it to Peter Forsberg. If you're Thomas Holmstrom, even though he walked out of the corner with nobody on him, JP, goes to the front of the net. If you go there and you make a move and you don't score, and everybody in the building standing there saying, Peter Forsberg was standing right there, did you not see him?
Simple.
Smart play. Here, Peter, you try it.
There's Sundin. Power play continuing for Team Sweden, leading 2-0 against the Czech Republic. Game 2 of this World Cup of Hockey for each team. The corner, flipped around the boards. Naslund kept it alive there, plowed into by Sikora. Puck is free out at the point. Lidstrom, Forsberg, holding. Peter Forsberg has a little room, takes it to the circle. Goes behind the net to Naslund. Holmstrom was taken down in front. Forsberg holds. Side netting. Naslund tried to go short side. Bokun stops it.
Good execution there. Nothing real fancy. Just trying to work the short side and the short distances. Forsberg down to Naslund. We mentioned it in yesterday's game. They experimented a lot. They didn't feel like they played as well as they should have wanted to, but they're picking it up tonight.
ESPN and its family of networks proud to offer coverage of all 19 games in this Toyota World Cup of Hockey tournament. Holiday weekend, Labor Day. Join us on ESPNBroadband.com. That's all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Labor Day weekend. First of many events on broadband.
Naslund and Forsberg have not actually played together for 11 years, even though they grew up together, went to school together, and actually played on the school team together. It's been 11 years since they've played together on a regular basis.
Must have been some school team, though.
Yeah, I think they got A's in that class, too.
At least in hockey. Flipped out in front, and another score. 3-0, that one by Olin. 2 straight power plays. They're opening up the game now.
Matthias Olin did a great job here. He just got into the open area, and the Swedes are really starting to feel the flow now. Good hard work in the corners. Again, you see 2 Czech players there, and they're a man short. Now there's 3 Swedish players come in and help each other, and then Daniel Alfredsson just did a terrific job there. A really good support there. At first, the Czechs were in a bad position. Then Sweden realized that, okay, we've got to do, that's how you work hard and work smart on the power play. It's really difficult sometimes to work hard on a power play. That was good hard work. And heads-up play by Daniel Alfredsson, again, who's a very bright guy. He realized, yeah, I got to get in the corner and help there, too. They outmanned the Czechs 3-2, got the puck, and Alfredsson made the play.
This is going for an icing call. The touch is made. It goes the other way. For anyone that watched the other night or even heard the score, 4-0 Finland over the Czechs, and now hear this score, and they must think that the Czechs have given it up, but they have played hard tonight and are unlucky in a sense that they're down by this many goals. It's not been a lopsided game.
Exactly. That's a very good point. I mean, the Czechs are definitely in this game. Right now, I think they're hanging their heads a little bit, but they're also kicking themselves saying, look, we knew we couldn't take any penalties here. We can't give this Swedish team chances on the power play, and they're still doing it anyway.
Caberlet backs it up. Sweden 2 for 3 right now on this power play on this night. Caberlet's over the line. Takes the shot, knocked away by Tellqvist. In the corner, Ruchinski. Played it out. That was dangerous and deflected all the way down the ice. PJ Axelsson skating hard against Caberlet, tying him up. They're tying each other up, actually. 4 players into the corner. Johansson makes it 5. Dug free. crowd appreciated Axelson's hustle there.
Axelson's a smart guy. That's why he's out there in those situations. He read the play, gets the stick in the alley, and takes away the Czech scoring chance.
Ruchinski stuck there by Tellqvist. Lead pass on the left side for Axelson, who dumps it in. As the Swedes trying to change up here on the fly. Vokun left it along the boards. Olin there. Quick shot gloved by Thomas Vokun. He'll hang on and get a face-off in his own zone. And now you see more changes out there. Sweden will complete their change, and the Czech Republic will send out Jager's line.
The Czech team, their hockey and their history always involved politics. You go back to 1949 when the Czechs beat Canada. Then the following year, 1950, this is the old Czechoslovakia, the entire Czech team was arrested by their own government because there was accusations that all the players were going to defect. And you go back, Peter Stastny having been spirited out of the country back in the 80s and taken to Quebec to come over to North America to play. And then even Peter Nedved back in 1989, a 17-year-old Peter Nedved with $20 in his pocket over in Calgary in Canada playing in a junior tournament defects. His family didn't even know. So the Czech Republic has been involved in hockey and politics all the way along.
Quick wrist shot in the slot. Nobody seemed to see where that one was going. Zidlitsky off the boards, and now up ice. Jager. Jager's over the line, has Prospol with him, and some help there in front. Quick shot off the pipe after Tellqvist made the initial save off Fischer. Sweden backs it up with Schornqvist. Lead pass stopped by the big guy Fischer, but carried it over the line anyway. Nielsen's shot is blocked. Czech Republic getting it back. Prospol lost it there. Back to Schornqvist. Up ice it comes. Sweden trying to change up. They may have had too many men on the ice. Believe they did. It's 3-0 Sweden here in the second period. Oh, we told you about the 2 men on the ice for Sweden. What we didn't know is there was a bench minor as well. No explanation given on the Czech Republic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As Sweden got caught in the line change and they were trying to force the play up the ice, I have no idea why the bench minor. We may get an explanation, we may not, but nonetheless, it's 4-on-4.
Someone must have said something by that Czech bench. In any case, some open ice here. It's unfortunate for the Czech Republic because it looked like they were going to have a chance, at least with the man advantage, to have an opportunity to close this gap. On this left side, Hammerlick plays it forward. Knocked down by Vlasic. Holding, backhand flip. Centered in front, intended for Dopita. Back at the right point. Vlasic kept it alive there. And now it's poked out into neutral ice. Hammerlick of the New York Islanders takes control.
I'm kind of surprised, actually, that Yuri Dopita was out there in that 4-on-4 situation. He is their oldest player. He doesn't move as well as he used to. And with the skill level that they have on the Czech team in a 4-on-4 situation, it's kind of amazing to me that they wouldn't have Sikora or Elias or somebody else out there.
Somebody with wheels. Left side. Played up to center. Alfredson rags it. 4-on-4 hockey. Less than a minute to go on that 4-on-4 situation. A lead here tonight for the Swedes. They've scored 3 goals, 2 in the second period. On the far wing. Lead pass is deflected. Zetterberg gets it back. Deflects free behind Tellqvist, who's been strong tonight. Had to make some big saves early.
If he'd have let in even one of those good scoring chances that the Czechs had in the first period, JP, I mean, it's a different game because the Czechs, you can tell, are just looking for some little hook of confidence, which they've been unable to get so far.
Left circle. Jonsson missed the net. He was open. Zetterberg, one nice move. Makes it a second one as he controls the puck. Almost came away. He draws a penalty for the hook. Well, he's tough to stop with that speed there. So he'll give his team a man advantage. ESPN 2's your ticket to more great World Cup hockey coverage coming your way tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 7 p.m. Team Canada looks to make it 2-0 as they face off against Pavel Dimitra and Slovakia. It's Slovakia's first game. Then tomorrow, Team USA will look to rebound from their loss to the Canadians as they take on Russia. Kovalev, Yashin, Kovalchuk, and the rest of that team. That comes your way at 7 Eastern from the Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN 2.
Kuczynski in the penalty box for hooking. He did not keep his feet moving when Henrik Zetterberg did, and you end up getting a penalty an awful lot of times like that. So again, Czechs putting themselves in a bad situation because this Swedish team is really starting to feel the flow on their power play.
4 power play goals for Sweden in 2 nights. In the corner. Dug up by Holmstrom now behind the net on the forehand, flipping it over. Marcus Naslund out at the near point, and that got by Lidstrom. He'll have to chase it down. 3-time Norris Trophy winner. First team All-Star 6 straight years with Detroit, but he lost the puck there. Holmstrom comes back to help him out. Now it's Forsberg. Forsberg with 1 goal tonight. Starting up strong, lead pass over the line. The flip for Sundin. He controls it somehow. Try to flip it in front. That was blocked. Naslund to the point. Lidstrom. Wrist shot deflected. Picked up there. Forsberg at the side over to Naslund. Just over a minute to go on the power play. Naslund snaps it. That's deflected off the netting. There'll be a face-off coming up. So much puck movement with everybody on that unit able to move that puck, it seems, at will.
Yeah, and the Swedes were really smart the way they moved it too, because they didn't want to give up the puck at any time. Elias and Sikora got out there for the Czech Republic team to kill the penalty. And similar to what we saw with Zetterberg and Naslund in the first period, when you get skill level like that killing penalties, you have to show them respect too, and you can't turn pucks over and give those guys a chance shorthanded.
Hammerlick lead pass to Reichel. Shot his glove there. And Tellqvist thought about playing it, but now holds on. There'll be a face-off in his end with under a minute to go on the power play for Sweden.
Well, the goaltender situation will go on throughout this tournament for the Swedish team. That's just the way it is. And Michael Tellqvist has been superb. He's been absolutely perfect so far in this game. And he is the one that is the guy in the driver's seat right now. Until, you know, he makes a mistake or shows some kind of cracking, I'd say you're going to see Tellqvist from here on in.
Here's Alfredsson playing it over to the left side in front, and 10 for Modin, who couldn't get that stick down. Modin holds it at the right point. Olin points him in the right direction. Modin goes forward. Big shot stopped away by Okun. Near boards it goes. Power play continuing on for Sweden. Right circle shot. Alfredsson blasted wide.
Oh, they work in the seams well. That was a terrific bang-bang play. Alfredsson went to the opening. The puck came. He shot right away. Nothing the Czechs could do could defend that.
Big shot. Janssen save. Rebound back in to score. Zetterberg.
I wonder if they start thinking about giving Thomas Okun a rest, because the Swedish team is really starting to jump, and the Czechs are looking more dejected all the time. This is just quickness and execution. We mentioned the Zetterberg to Alfredsson shot before. The hard work coming out of the corner. Alfredsson getting the puck to the point. And Zetterberg, just with hard work, he'll come from the right side of your screen, out of the corner to the front. It's just a shot on net. The Czechs are looking to see if they can deflect it, if they can stop it. They can't, and they have not accounted for Zetterberg coming out of the corner. He gets to the loose puck, and there's not much Okun can do about that.
3 power play goals here in this second period to really open things up for Sweden. And how about Janssen? Most of his shots have been right on target the last couple of nights. Another penalty coming up here for hooking. 4-0 Sweden right now taking control of this game in the second period. Welcome back to ESPN and ESPN2's continuing coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey. In the box, Axelson at 10:44, 2 minutes for hooking, so the Czech Republic have an opportunity here in the power play. Let's see what they do. Straka to the left side of Verborny, now in deeper, flipped in front, and it's deflected free. Sweden can't clear, kept in nicely by Straka, and then he lost it. Cleared out of the zone. The chase is on. Johansson of the National Predators chasing him down.
The tendency in a situation like this for the Czechs is to try to win the game on this power play. Obviously, you can't because you're down by 4 goals. You put so much pressure on yourself to perform and to score that your mentality is almost like, we're trying to win this back right now. You got to guard against this. Just start moving the puck around, get a feel for it, get some momentum going. There's still time.
Lead pass, right side. Verborny dropped it off those boards, intended for Straka. He kept it rolling. Turn around, blast by Ragnarsson off the boards. He's able to clear. Still over a minute left in the power play for the Czech Republic, but they're looking for their first shot on it. Yager pokes it ahead. And crossbow backhands it in deep. Sean Chris goes after the penalty coming up here. And let's see. It's on Sweden. So they're going to have 2 in the box.
Obstruction hooking. Andreas Johansson, I believe. Or Nielsen. Yeah, number 18, Nielsen. Not 10. 18's Nielsen. So it'll be a 5-on-3 situation. But unless the Czechs can get their act together better, it's not going to make much difference because they're just not handling the puck as well as they would like to. And give the Swedes credit. Look at the checking there. Nielsen didn't like that call much at all because Jágr looked like he kicked his foot out from underneath him. Nielsen was looking, you're kidding me. I'm the one getting a penalty there?
Well, now it's a 5-on-3 for about 58 seconds. And the faceoff was won there by Sweden. That will kill off some time. That's a good faceoff win right there.
Mats Sundin, I don't think he lost a faceoff all night against the Germans. He is just outstanding in that faceoff circle.
Over the line, Vlasic holds. Looking into the corner. Around the boards, they have Dopita out there right now in this 5-on-3. Reichel's at the point. Czechs get into the circle deep. Looking. Zidlinski, and he broke the stick. Sweden will take it back. Sundin flips it off those boards, catches up to himself, kills more time with it. 20 seconds left, and then Sweden will get Axelsson back. And it will just be a 5-on-4. Dropped off for Prospel, snaps it. Oh, Tellqvist came up with that save. Puck is poked free. Lidstrom clears.
Vinny Prospel has a terrific wrist shot. He got penetration there, and he snapped that one off so quickly. Tellqvist had to fight that one off.
Sikora trying to leave it off now. Playing in the slot. Saved by Tellqvist again. Stopping Robert Reichel. Sikora to the corner. He'll get it back. Peter Sikora, former New Jersey Devil, lost it there. It comes out at the right point area. Reichel kept it in. Prospel pokes it into the corner. Sikora tried to flip it for Vlasic. Couldn't get the stick down. Hammerlick's in deep. Reichel. Prospel holds. Far boards. The 5-on-4 right now for another half a minute or so. Quick shot, save again. Right pad save by Tellqvist. Out in front, picked up by Axelsson, whose penalty had expired a while back, and he stayed out there to kill some of this penalty. And now he'll flip it in. Tellqvist again, sharp.
He is perfect. I mean, he is really on top of his game. Michael Tellqvist is extremely quick. He's reading the plays. He's already anticipating where the puck is going to go, and he's confronting the shooter perfectly so far. Outstanding work by Tellqvist.
At the point, that shot going in wide, banged off the boards, and the penalty is over on Nielsen. So it's back to 5-on-5 hockey. So Sweden, it wasn't a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes, but it was a good portion of 5-on-3 hockey. And the Czech Republic only had maybe 2 chances there in the end. Czechs will take it over the center line. Peter dumps it in around the boards. Sweden can't clear it out. At the point, big shot, steered away. Olin off those boards, pitching in, keeping it alive in front. Nice touch pass. One too many. Along the boards, Luczynski kept it in, into the corner. Towards Havlat, that's blocked. Havlat spun around. Yuri Slager in deep. And now it's whistled down. 4-0 in favor of Team Sweden with about 5.5 to go in the second. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey continues from Stockholm. One scoreboard clock here says 3-0 Sweden, but trust us, it's 4-0. Thanks to 3 power play goals in the second period. The best chance the Czech Republic had, they just missed that last net. Otherwise, they could have at least narrowed the gap to make it 4-1.
Same building. It's 4-0 on one scoreboard and 3-0 on the other end of the ice.
Up on the right side, Alfredsson holds. Daniel Alfredsson, strong tournament thus far for Sundin in the corner. He can't get it, but he has help. Modin to Alfredsson. Nice touch pass. He'll settle the rolling puck. Modin in front. Alfredsson's backhander. Well, Kuhn got a piece. Into the corner goes. The Czechs trying to move it out on the left side for Prospel. Kept in. Alfredsson tried to spring Modin. Almost did. On the left side, it's Prospel. Under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Sweden has scored 3 power play goals in the second period to open it up. Jágr tied up there. Got free for the moment. Jágr came out in front. Stopped in front. Prospel will take it back on the side. In for Jágr. Couldn't get it. Tellqvist poked it away. It's still loose, and now Tellqvist will pounce on it. Oh, it's a frustrated group from the Czech Republic. ESPN2 brings you more World Cup hockey action tomorrow as preliminary round action skates on, starting at 1:30 when Finland looks to continue their winning ways. They'll travel to Cologne to take on Germany. Then at 7 p.m. it's Team USA taking on Russia. The Toyota World Cup of hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2.
Nordstrom and Ragnarsson did a really good job there helping out Tellqvist. It was a three-man effort to keep Jaromir Jagr and his line from scoring in that last shift. That's the best work we've seen offensively from the Czechs in this period.
And still nothing to show for it. Forsberg comes out in front. Big collision in front. 3 players went down as the Czechs take it up ice. Offside. Jumping in ahead of the play was Rucinski. So it'll be a face-off coming up.
Well, the great scoring chance that was missed before we went to that commercial break was Chayanek making the double pass to Dopita in front of the net. Unfortunately for them, you know, they couldn't come away with anything there. One too many passes, maybe a little bit too cute, but it's an instinctive thing that's done. And then Jagr's line comes right back. It almost puts it in. So I think the Czechs are starting to feel like we got nothing to lose. We have to get something going. Where they're getting away from their defense first mode, I think, and saying the heck with it. And I think these players are just taking it on themselves and going, come on, boys, let's just get it and go.
Zetterberg goes back after it. Picked up by the Czech Republic. Gaborny looks to get it back, and he does. Nice stick work, but it's sticked away by Tellqvist. Into the corner. Now the flip out of the zone. It bounces free. Lidstrom, we've got a penalty from the trailing referee, and 2 players fighting. Zetterberg and then Havlat, it looks like, right in front of the bench.
Yep.
Didn't want to get involved in it. I don't think he dropped the gloves, did he? Can't see them. Nope, he still has his gloves on.
Yeah.
It was an elbowing penalty at first that was called. We'll settle it in a moment, but right now with this break in the action, we head back to David Amber and Barry Melrose in our ESPN studios in Bristol.
Coming up in the second intermission, we will detail what's going on with the NHL and NHLPA meeting for a second straight day in Montreal. As far as this game goes, Barry, will the Czech Republic ever score a goal?
No, I don't think they will because they're not playing hard enough. At least Martin Havlat showed a little bit of emotion, but in the third period, Czechs got to come out and win something, win a period, just do something positive. It's been 5 periods now. They've showed no emotion, no heart, a little bit better today, but certainly that team with that talent level not scoring in 5 periods is a joke, and they got to look inside themselves a little bit.
And as JP mentioned earlier, 8 straight losses at the Canada Cup and World Cup. We'll get it back now to the broadcast crew in Stockholm.
We saw the first penalty. It was an elbow on Rucinski, and then the roughing on Zetterberg.
So there are 2 Czech players in the penalty box, and so the Czechs will definitely end up shorthanded in this situation. Looks like it's going to be a 5-on-4 power play opportunity. There's Zetterberg in the penalty box. After the initial call was going up, the referee had his hand up. Zetterberg got into it with Martin Havlat, but the original penalty was on Rucinski for elbow.
It didn't look like Havlat did enough to warrant it, but maybe we missed something. In any case, he sits it out. So power play with another 150 or so left on it. Team Sweden in control right now. And thankfully, both clocks now say the right score. 4-0 on both sides. They changed them during that last break when we went back to the studio. This is Lidstrom behind the net for Sweden. Up 4-0 in a wide open game right from the start. But the power play has been the big difference tonight, and Tellqvist for Sweden. Tellqvist will leave it off now for Lidstrom. 1:20 remaining on the man advantage. Lidstrom fires it in. Volkun settles it there. First guy on it is Jonsson. Zidlitsky gets it now around the boards and just clears it past Lidstrom. It goes the length of the ice. Still over a minute to go on the power play for Sweden.
Jiri Fischer just wasted Jörgen Jonsson along the boards there. He outweighs him probably by about 35 pounds and is about 4 or 5 inches taller. He used all of it on Jörgen Jonsson.
Alfredsson far boards into the corner. He'll get it back. Daniel Alfredsson holds, and a whistle from behind. The referee was pointing up at the scoreboard. May have been something that malfunctioned. Right now, we remind our fans that on September 7th, you can make a difference by showing your spirit. It's simple. Wear your favorite team's apparel to work that day, and in exchange, each participant can make a donation of $5 or more to the V Foundation and help benefit cancer research. Anyone can participate, including schools, companies, and individuals. Join ESPN and many others by declaring September 7th as Show Your Spirit Day. For more details and to sign up, log on to www.jimmyv.org.
That was strange. They're right in the middle of the play. The Swedes at the puck in the power play and the offensive zone, and the whistle just blew. Something to do with the clock.
Up above, the other clocks are okay. They look behind the goals anyway, and the trailing referee immediately pointed up to the clock. It's right above the ice.
Janssen and Modin talking things over. Power play situation is just getting better and better for the Swedish team, and they have so many different looks and feels. They get Naslund out there along with Forsberg and Zetterberg, and they're dipping and diving and working out of the corner. Then they throw Thomas Holmstrom out there, and he just goes to the front of the net and drives Slokun nuts. You got Modin moving from the front of the net, from the corner and back again, using that huge body. Everything working right now for the Swedes.
Especially the Sundin line with 11 points in 2 games, and it's just getting started.
11 points in 2 games for Alfredsson, Sundin, and Modin. Now, Sundin and Modin played together when Modin was part of the Toronto Maple Leafs a few years ago, rather. Modin and Sundin actually played a lot as line mates, probably about 50% of the time, Freddie told me. And then Alfredsson, of course, is an arch rival of Sundin in particular, playing for the Ottawa Senators. But he certainly has good feel for these 2 guys, and they continue to be extremely, extremely impressive in these 2 games from Sweden.
1 goal and 3 assists tonight. There's the problem, but that's on the scoreboard up above, not the scoreboards behind the goals. So that's why they stopped. That's about the only thing that could stop this game. Unlike last night, where Germany would try to slow down the play, this has been wide open right from the start.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, I think the Czech team came out with a good game plan to start because they knew Sweden had dominated the Germans, and it was a very low-key game, and the tempo was very slow. The Swedish team only picked it up when they wanted it to. So the Czechs came out and really set the tone and tried to catch Sweden, maybe a little off guard, but it didn't work. The Swedes didn't look their real sharpest early on, but they got it going early.
While we continue on with this break here, we go back to David and Barry in our ESPN studios, guys.
All right, guys, I have a little break there in Stockholm. Barry, at the beginning of this tournament, you said Canada was the team to beat. Sweden doing anything to change your mind?
Yeah, they are. They look great, and the goaltending, Tellqvist giving them solid goaltending day, which they haven't had in a long time in world competition going back to the Olympics. But I think when you play the Swedes and the teams that are going to be playing the Swedes, especially the Finns, you got to stop them in the neutral zone. You can't let them come flying through with speed. You got to put a body on them and slow them up, but you also got to make sure you don't take any penalties because their power play looks great right now. Forsberg's not even their best player right now. That goes to Sundin. They got 2 lines. They're scoring consistently. They got a great power play. But again, the Czechs aren't getting enough shots. Tellqvist has looked good tonight, but certainly he doesn't look like he deserves a shutout. So I think that's the main thing. You got to put some rubber and make that Swedish team play a little bit of defense.
Czech Republic's definitely making every goaltender look good right now.
They're making everybody look good.
They haven't scored a goal this tournament, guys.
Well, right here you're going to see Holmstrom turn over in the corner. Zidlicki got no help from his partner. Holmstrom's got great vision. He's also a good passer. You see them winning battles here. Come down, win the 3-on-2 battle in the corner. Great pass to Olin because the Czechs are putting all 4 guys down in front of the net, killing penalties.
If you're the coach, Hardy Nielsen, are you going to run now with Tellqvist as long as he can?
Yes, because Salo just hasn't looked good. Salo didn't look comfortable against Germany. We know what happened against Belarus in the Olympics in 2002. Basically, he was the most hated man in Sweden for a couple of years there. It just doesn't look like he's comfortable in net right now for the Swedish team, Tommy Salo. Certainly is a more experienced goaltender. You mentioned David Tellqvist only played 14 games in the NHL, but he looks confident right now. He's moving well. The team looks like they believe in him. They're more aggressive in front of him because they know he's going to make the save. So I think Tellqvist is a guy right now for the Swedish national team.
He's got a 4-0 lead as we're getting set close for the 3rd period action. Guys, though, first, let's finish up the 2nd.
Clock is fixed apparently, but there's no time posted on the power play. Janssen fires. Bokun made that save. I'm not sure you even saw that. I think they're going to stop play again because of the clock situation. Apparently that is the case.
Yeah, the fans are getting upset now. The fans in Europe are really talented because if they're upset, they don't just boo. I mean, anybody can boo, right? I mean, I can boo, but I can't whistle. You have to be talented here to be upset. They whistle when they're upset here. Yeah. These fans are talented. And so is Peter Forsberg, who made that pass from right beside the net all the way out to the point to get that good scoring chance before the Czechs were able to clear the play.
So far, no one has been able to boo and whistle at the same time. so far, unless you want to give it a go. 4-0, Sweden is leading here. And right now, we remind you that ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey coverage. Coming your way tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 7 p.m., Team Canada. Second game in as many nights. They'll face off against Pavel Dimitra in Slovakia as they open up World Cup play. Tomorrow, Team USA looks to rebound from a tough loss to Canada as they take on Russia. Kovalev, Yashin, Kovalchuk, Gonchar. It's a star-studded team from Russia. That's coming your way at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2.
I'm just not talented enough to be a fan here in Europe. Absolutely. That high-pitched whistle thing,
it's tough.
It's a hard thing to do.
It's tough. It's unfortunate.
I can boo. You know, that's no problem at all. Anybody can do that.
It's unfortunate, though, about the timing of this because the game has been good.
I know.
It's been up and down.
All the
and
momentum.
now the clock.
Yeah. Well, Peter Forsberg, there's so many stats about him that are just incredible. In 1993, the World Junior Championships, Peter Forsberg at the World Junior Championship, 31 points in 7 games. That is incredible. That's Gretzky, Mario Lemieux kind of stuff.
They've restarted it, but there is no penalty clock posted up here. Less than a couple minutes, though, to go in the second period that has belonged to Sweden thanks to their power play. And they continue on here at the left circle. Olin skates out. Neutral zone. Alfredson over the line. Daniel Alfredson holds it at the far side. Penalties now over. Here's a quick one. Stopped there by Mulcoon. Back to 5-on-5 hockey near the end of the period. Johnson again. Wristing it. Save Mulcoon. He was screened in front by Forsberg.
And Peter Forsberg's really glad that shot didn't hit him. He was trying to get in the face of Mulcoon. That one went right by his knee, and he had that look on his face like, oh, good. I'm glad that didn't hit me.
Whistle will stop play on the icing, this time not for a clock malfunction. And the next faceoff will go back in Tellqvist's end, where he has been sharp tonight when he's had to be. I mean, the Czech Republic have had a lot of shots tonight, more than they had the entire night when they had just 12 against Finland in their loss. They've had a jump in their stride tonight, but as you said before, had they scored in that opening period, it would have lifted them. Instead, that second period was a disaster.
They're just looking for something to give them a little bit of life, and Tellqvist has taken all of that away.
Sjögren behind Tellqvist, looking to move it. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Lidström flips it high, and it goes off the netting. There's another break here. With Sweden on top, 4-0. The other night, 5 different players scored goals for Sweden, and tonight, 4 different players.
There's Nick. Look at Nick Lidström, who plays for the Detroit Red Wings. His coach, Dave Lewis, had the best description of Lidström I've ever heard. He said he's like a self-tuning luxury automobile. I love that. Yeah. In other words, he looks after himself, no maintenance, and just gives you incredible performance night after night.
Picked up now by Hammerlick. As we approach about a half a minute to go in the period. Axelsson left it off. Sweden moving it out. Sundin. PJ Axelsson over the line, barely onside. It's dumped in. Jonsson's after it. Hammerlick takes him down. Spinning is Prospol. Axelsson's all over him. Good forecheck from PJ Axelsson as the puck comes to the neutral ice area. The Czechs bring it up. Hammerlick jumped into the play nicely. Quick shot one wide of Tellqvist. Prospol holds it, waits for the help. Picked off, and it's out of the zone. And that'll just about do it there for the period, which comes to a close. 3 power play goals for Sweden in that second period. They're now dominating. They're up 4-0 after 2.
Welcome to the Toyota Intermission Report. Barry Melrose and David Amber. 3 more power play goals give Sweden a comfortable 4-0 lead heading into the third period. Last night, we had a very close game, though. Canada and USA getting it on in Montreal, and the defending champs in a little bit of trouble. They couldn't handle all the offense coming their way.
Early in the game, Canada's got those beautiful yellow jerseys on, and gold's probably the case. Right here, Thornton goes out to Samuel. Great play by Thornton. This line was dangerous every time they stepped on the ice. Again, I mentioned I love the fact Canada's on the back of those jerseys. The story of the game to me was Robert Esch for the Americans. The Americans went in not knowing if their young goaltenders were good enough. Robert Esch answered that question. He was the main reason it was only 1-0 at the end of the first period. Could have been much, much worse than that. Esch was moving very, very well all across the rink.
Esch answered all questions and looked very good, except right there, a Joe Sakic power play goal makes it 2-0 Canada. The U.S. did respond, though, a few minutes later.
Gomez makes a great pass to Guerin. Don't forget, these two guys played together a little bit with the Devils in the past. Emotions were running high. Mario Lemieux went a little bit ballistic there, sticking up for his goaltender, Marty Brodeur. Niedermayer was in a fight. Neither one, Mario or Niedermayer, were probably in a fight all last year, but that just shows how important these games are to the Canadians and the Americans.
Canada pulling out the 2-1 win, the defending Olympic champs, beating the defending World Cup champs. But really, the Americans answering some questions. First of all, they do have a goalie in Robert Esch. And secondly, they might look like the geriatric ward, but these guys, despite their age, 19 of the 23 Americans, older than 30 years of age, at least they've answered the bell. They can play.
If I'm Ronnie Wilson, I'm very happy with the game. My goaltender question was answered, and we came back when it looked like we were going to be killed 2-0. So good game for the Americans.
Well, 2 weeks today, the NHL's collective bargaining agreement expires, and there's a lot of skepticism from a lot of players that despite the meetings right now going on with the NHL and the NHLPA in Montreal, that this is the last hockey, the World Cup of hockey, that we're going to be seeing in some time. Jeremy Roenick is one of those that thinks this could be the end of the line.
Think we'll see hockey this season?
No.
Whole season done?
I think the whole season will be done. And it's unfortunate because our game is in such a delicate state right now. I think we're going north and we're getting fans involved and we're getting fans excited about the game, and that the talent level is so big and so great that...
Have you heard one positive report?
I haven't even heard a whisper of a positive report. From all reports that I get, it's they walk in, they say, you change your mind, they say no, and they say, well, nice talking to you.
Doesn't sound too promising if Jeremy Roenick is indeed right, Barry.
Well, Steve Levy's turning into our Mike Wallace. He's doing all the tough interviews.
Investigative reporting.
But don't forget, the one thing I'll say about that, the players are told what to say. They're told by the Players Association that they got to put a doom and gloom side in this. I've talked to agents. I've talked to players. You're right, nobody's positive. But again, I go back to a couple years ago in baseball. We were going through the same thing. 2 weeks before the agreement, everyone said it's going to be a year, it's going to be 2 years. And baseball was smart enough to get a deal done the last moment. I hope that Mr. Bettman and Mr. Goodenow realize what's at stake and they can sit down and for the betterment of the game and for the betterment of all of us people that love hockey, that they will also get a deal done that both sides can live with by the 15th September.
Maybe there should be some optimism. Remember, the NHL and the NHLPA meeting for the second straight day in Montreal. On the nightcap, Canada taking on Slovakia on ESPN2. The puck drops at 7 o'clock. We'll have representatives from both the NHL and the NHLPA to give their side of the story as far as what progress was made, if any, in Montreal.
And Steve Levy won't be there.
You know who's not making progress? The Czech Republic. They haven't scored in this tournament. More from the second intermission next. Czech Republic and Sweden in Stockholm. Peter Forsberg and the gang rolling.
Wow, Holmstrom makes the play right there. Great pass to Peter. You don't want to give a 2-on-1. Look at the situation in the corner. 3 Swedish players win the physical battle. That's the story of this game. The Czechs are not winning any battle. Any loose puck goes to the Swedes, not the Czechs. Right here, you're going to see a battle again, one in front of the net by Zetterberg. Czechs just have not come to play. The Swedes look great.
4-0 Sweden. 3 power play goals today. 5 power play goals so far in the tournament. Czech Republic, they've yet to score. Third period actions next.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And Samuel Adams. When you're ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
The Toyota World Cup of Hockey coverage continues from Stockholm right now. Tellqvist has a shutout going. It's a 4-0 lead. The Czech Republic have outshot Sweden. The scoring chances are dead even at 12 apiece. The difference, one of the differences, Tellqvist, another, Brian, the power play.
2 areas that you always are extremely important in any game. power play has to come through for you when you get chances. And Sweden has been brilliant. Matt Sundin has led the way. His line has been outstanding for 2 games now. And Tellqvist really has been great. There were times in this game, early on in the game, where the Czechs did have some really good scoring chances, some excellent shots. Tellqvist looked outstanding. I mean, quick, sharp, reading the plays, out, aggressive, challenging, turned away every single one of them.
Yeah. If you're just joining us now, you might think this was a blowout right from the start, but it was not. It was only a 1-0 game after 1, and then 3 power play goals, and the first 2 were about 2 minutes apart. That opened up the gap, and right now Team Sweden is in complete control of this one, 4-0, and the Czech Republic have their last game to look forward to against Germany, and that's going to be coming up on Friday to try to get a couple of points. But again, everybody gets into the tournament, but you don't want to go into the playoffs 0-3.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're still having the trouble with the clock here, folks. There were a lot of delays in the second period, and they're still trying to mess around with it a little bit here too, and get it right before this period starts. Second period lost a lot of its momentum when they had problems with the clock 2 or 3 consecutive times. Daniel Alfredsson is a really good example of how this Swedish team has played and progressed. I thought he showed his game first before anybody. Going back to last night's game, their first game in the tournament against Germany, he was great, and everybody else has picked it up since then. His line mates were the first ones to pick it up, Modin and Sundin, but they work hard. The Swedish team has worked hard on the power play, and a lot of power plays are guilty of not working hard. Guys stand around, or only half the guys work, the other half stand around and say, hey, I'm open, get it to me. Well, this Swedish team hasn't done that. Because of that, their power play is really looking awesome.
Still some clock problems, slowing down not just Team Sweden, but also the Czech Republic as we await the start of this 3rd period. Clock is ticking down, and we're not sure what they'll do with it. But both of them are. It's about time.
Just go off the stopwatch, and I think they'll just try to update them because they can't afford to have too many more delays or whatever the problem is. The Czech Republic's got to get something going. I mean, for the sake of not just this 3rd period in this game, but future games.
We remind you about more great World Cup hockey coverage coming your way tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 7, Team Canada takes on Slovakia in their first game, led by Pavel Demitra. Tomorrow, Team USA looks to come back from their loss, the tough loss 2-1 to Canada last night when they take on Russia. That's coming your way at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2. It's amazing that some of these teams already played in a couple of games, and some haven't even started yet. Russia doesn't play till tomorrow.
I guess the place was really rocking in Montreal last night with a Canada-U.S. matchup. Canada coming away with that victory, but there was a little bit of everything. I know the Swedish players were talking about watching the first period and saying, man, were those guys flying. It was up and down. I guess it got a little bit nasty as the game went on in the later stages. That's the kind of stuff we love when you have Canada playing against the U.S. team. Terrific. The tournament is just getting underway, and it looks like we're ready to get underway with the 3rd.
You're watching the Toyota World Cup of Hockey here on ESPN. Sweden in blue, Czech Republic in white. Sweden leads 4-0 thanks to 3 second period power play goals. Puck was lost right there, but the Czech Republic couldn't take advantage, and now it's Alfredsson with Modin and Sundin over the line. Into the corner it goes. Picked up by Alfredsson, centering. Deflected out of the zone, backing it up is Lidstrom.
That was a communication thing by the Czech defense. Yuri Slager expected his partner to go get that puck. He never even turned around to look. They didn't go. Alfredsson went and got it, and they got a scoring chance.
Kuhn, after juggling, leaves it off for David Baborny, coming off 2 straight 20 or more goal seasons with Columbus. Baborny takes it in over the line, gets the return into the corner. To the left of Tellqvist, now it's left off there. Played out to the point. Fischer's high wrister went wide. To the corner it goes. Now the foot pass out of the zone. Yuri Fischer's back at his own blue line, and will hold off as his team is trying to change in the fly. Off the boards, Forsberg with a goal tonight, leaves it off. He'll get it back. Forsberg's pass up the middle. Lead pass off the skate of Zetterberg. Around the boards it goes. Czech Republic looking to move it out. They'll go the opposite way. Off the long clearance from Straka. Off the stick and into the corner. Tellqvist lets it go. Mattias Norrstrom with a flip out of the zone. All the way down ice. Yuri Fischer, first man on it. He'll get the return pass and start back up ice. A 4-0 lead for Sweden. That one hits the netting. There's another break.
Well, we'll take a look at the two different pools that are going on, the European pool and the North American pool. Up till this point, Sweden's got 2 points. The Finns have 2 points. Germans and the Czechs so far with nothing. And on the North American side, you got Canada with 2 from the win last night over the U.S. And the Russians and the Slovaks haven't even played yet.
Sweden in the driver's seat right now. Barring a total collapse here, they'll end the night in first. As this shot goes in wide, it bounced in front of Tellqvist. A strange bounce there. Picked up behind the net. Sikora trying to flip it for Elias. Flipped around the boards. Elias getting it back. Sikora's turnaround shot went wide. Czech Republic after it. Martin Skula flips it in front. That one's blocked. Deep slot. Pass Reichel. Down ice it goes.
Early in the game, Elias and Sikora had a couple of quick chances and showed some speed. Through the middle part of the game, they were lost, along with the rest of the Czechs offensively. Showed a little bit of flair there, trying to get to the Swedish net.
On those boards, Vlasic trying to keep it in. Had some help. Back to the neutral zone. Vlasic's pass blocked. Marcus Nilsson over the line for Sweden, who shoots it in wide. Dopita off those near boards. Looks to move it out of the zone. Can't do it. Lidstrom kept it in. Marcus Nilsson looking, trying to flip it in front for Holmstrom. Instead, it's the Czech Republic who clear it out. Back into the Sweden zone. Nicholas Lidstrom stops right there. Finds Jonsson. Jonsson with 4 shots on goal tonight leads Team Sweden. This one going deep. The touch is made by Fischer. The icing call. Next face-off back in the Sweden zone.
Speaking of Jonssons, I was talking to Jörgen Jonsson, the only Swedish player who plays in the Swedish league. And he said he was getting used to the North American ice surface, which means that there is 2-line passes. And that took him a while. But he said, that's the way I want to play. He said, I would rather have the 2-line pass in our game. And to further that, some of our guys were talking to Jari Kurri, the great Hall of Famer who is assistant coach with the Finn national team. And Jari told some guys that they would like to see the red line back in their game because they don't like the way the game is being played by young guys.
Havlat took the shot, and it may have been deflected by Ruchinski. In any case, the shutout is gone from Tellqvist, and the Czech Republic now have the first thing positive on their night tonight.
Couple of guys going to the front of the net. Might have been Ruchinski, or might have been Marty Havlat, who went to the front of the net too for the change of direction here. Havlat took the shot, and Ruchinski either got his foot or his stick on it. And you can see Tellqvist, the goaltender, was out challenging, but the change of direction, there's just not much you can do about it.
We believe it's Ruchinski from Havlat. We'll wait for the official call. That is right. So the Czech Republic have their first goal in 2 games. And we'll see what this does now. 4-1 Sweden. Johnson's pass right side. The Swedes break out. Alfredsson has Modin in front of him. Knocked down by the Czechs. Near boards. Taken over the line. Now back over the line. Looking. Yager couldn't get a shot off. Puck is free. Possible. Nice by Tellqvist. Could have been a 4-2 game quickly. Quick shot taken. Tellqvist stopped that one. Czechs are coming. And now it's cleared the other way.
Well, star players sense when they get a little bit of a seam. Now the Czechs have got a little bit of hope. Finally something dropped for them. That's their first goal in the tournament in 2 games. So they want to try to step on the gas here a little bit, and they're capable of it.
Yager knocked it down with a glove, but couldn't get the stick on it. Yager in the corner. 5-time NHL scoring champ played it out toward the point, kept in there and driven in wide. Hammerlick on it. Turnaround, tip. Tellqvist, good stop. Big save to make after giving up a goal by Tellqvist to try to stop any momentum that the Czechs might get.
Absolutely, and it was Yager going to the front of the net. That was a terrific spin-around shot by Hammerlick, who fielded the puck off the wall and just threw it towards the net. And Yager saw the possibilities coming. He went to the front of the net, deflected it, so Tellqvist had to make the initial save, and then there was a rebound. But this line has really come on here on this last shift and given Czechs some more life. After the goal by Ruchinski, Yager and Prospel and Straka have done a terrific job here of getting pucks to the net. Here's the last one. Good deflection there. You see how Tellqvist is all over it, and he covers it up quickly.
Meanwhile, Sweden has called a 30-second timeout. That's a good time for us to remind you that they are playing by NHL rules. ESPN 2 brings you more World Cup hockey action tomorrow. Preliminary round action skates on starting at 1:30 when Finland looks to continue their winning ways, traveling to Cologne to take on Germany. And at 7 p.m., Team USA in their second game, they will be taking on Russia. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN 2.
There's a look at Hardy Nielsen on the right side. That's Ulf Dahlin. A lot of NHL fans will remember him. Ulfie was great along the boards. We were laughing this morning. Ulf Dahlin was so good along the boards that they had to redo the advertising signs along the boards after every period because he wiped them off with his good work on the wall.
Mattias Norström looking to move it out of the zone. He does. Off Caberlet. Late offside. Norström holds it. LA Kings defenseman has it blocked. Norström will try it again. Headed for Forsberg. He's bumped. Zetterberg keeps it going. Zetterberg's had a very strong game tonight. Even stronger than last night. Sikora lost it. Near boards. Sweden keeping it in play at the point. Now it's out of the zone. Norström's turnaround. Wanted Zetterberg. That's cut off. Elias left it for Reichel. Lead pass trying to spring Sikora. Tellqvist is there. That one was blocked behind the net. Not a good clearance by the goaltender. Checks up. Zidlitsky, big shot, and he scored. I'm not sure how that got through. I thought Tellqvist had it. We talked about Zidlitsky and what a shot he has. That's the first time that we saw it tonight.
14 goals last year as a rookie for the Nashville Predators. And so much of it was on the power play. This guy has a great sense of things offensively. But the Swedes just don't get the puck out of the zone. It's good work down low to get the turnover. Then they'll get it back to Zidlitsky, who's able to power into it from the face-off circle. And it looked like, I thought Tellqvist had it at first. It looked like it squeezed right underneath the arm. And then he tried to plead that there was goaltender interference, but he was actually piled into after the puck was already in the net. Good shot by Zidlitsky.
Good look at that replay, too, to see exactly where that puck went. So now it's a 4-2 game and a lot of time left. A lot of time left.
And the Swedes are flat. I mean, they used their timeout already, and they shook them up a little bit, but now the Czechs come right back and score on them anyway. So now the ball is really in the Czechs' court. They've regained themselves. They got a little bit of momentum, and now it's the Swedes. We'll see what they're made of here to regain their game.
Imagine if the Czech Republic get another goal before Sweden would score. Here's Nilsson. Blocked by Hammerlick. Skula around the boards. Has some help there. And back into the zone by Axelsson. Skula again. Trying to leave it for Havlat. Now it's Verborny. Czechs have found their legs again here in the third. Quick shot. Tellqvist will hang on and get a face-off coming up. We have a game, though, right now from Stockholm. 4-2, Sweden leads. This is the Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN from Stockholm. All of a sudden, we've got a game. It's 4-2. Sweden have led 4-0. Minor penalties for roughing at 6:19 on Holmström and Ruchinski as we went to break. So it's 4-on-4 hockey and a little momentum going the Czechs' way as we went to break.
That was a worthwhile penalty there for Thomas Holmström because he took the other guy off with him. And Sweden's flat. So Holmström knows how to stir things up and get them back in. I think they have to get their nose dirty again.
Crossbow flips it. That's Yager holding it in. At the left point, quick one by Slager. Deflected, rolling in, but Sundin cut it off. Incredible. Here is Sundin coming back over the line. And as he dropped it off, and offside.
And also just good basic stuff there from the Czechs. Getting pucks to the front of the net, getting traffic in front, getting some sticks on it, deflecting it. Things are starting to move. They're starting to show signs of some life here. That one just leaked through Tellqvist. And Mats Sundin said, no problem, I got this.
Yeah. Looked easy there, but if there was anyone near that from the Czech Republic, it would have been a 4-3 game. 4-on-4 hockey continues. Better than a minute left in that situation. Matthias Olin with it. Sweden was on cruise control, 4-0 at the end of the second period, and now momentum has turned.
That's the problem with cruise control. Sometimes it doesn't shut off.
That clock problem, too, slowed the game down second period. It came to a halt. Several minutes on a delay. And then the guys got back together near the end of that period. They probably would have put that time on into the third period if it was closer to the end, but it really wasn't. Puck is dumped in. Sweden back on it.
As you look back at that timeout, it looks like it was the wrong time to do it, but I think the Swedes were right in taking the timeout the way they did. They were chastising their players. You know, snap out of it, boys. Let's go. Meanwhile, the Czechs came right back and scored after that. But I think the thought process was right from the coaches. It was a good time to take it.
Behind the net it goes. Vokun leaves it. Slowed down there. But Vlasic has some help. Slager spins, trying to get free. One's blocked. Kept in play. Left circle, Nordstrom. Knocked out, rebound. Save again by Vokun off Jonsson. Jonsson again. That's stopped by Thomas Vokun. He wants to keep that puck rolling and not slow down the game because the Czechs are flying. Down that left side. Over the line. Quick shot. Save Tellqvist. Rebound in front is blocked. An incredible turn of events here. All the pressure against Sweden.
What a block by Marcus Ragnarsson. That very well may have saved the goal. Excellent puck movement down low by the Czechs.
And offside there as the penalties expired, and it's back to 5-on-5 hockey.
I'm not so sure that Caberlet might have made one of these saves down low, as the Swedes had a really good chance. Number 15 White is going to end up diving. Right, I think there. Yeah, 15 White, the defenseman, made that save because Vokun was trying to get back. I think that puck's in. It was Jörgen Jonsson who had the backhander, so he couldn't get much on it. But good goaltending there by Thomas Caberlet.
Czech Republic playing it up ice. Over the line they come, and as Elias shot it, it was offside. Right now, let's head back to our ESPN studios in Bristol. David Amber has the Sam Adams Tournament Update.
Last night, Canada beat the US of A 2-1. It was a costly win, though, as Ed Jovanovski is now done for what looks like the rest of the tournament. He is out. That leads our Sam Adams World Cup update. Out with a sprain and fractured, an MCL sprain and a fractured rib. He's done. Scott Hannon, he'll replace Jovo. Chris Draper and Jose Theodore added to the lineup tonight. Canada and Slovakia tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN2, and we will also hear from both sides, the NHL and the NHL Players Association, during that game.
Back to our coverage in Stockholm. It's a 4-2 lead for Team Sweden over the Czech Republic. We've shown some life here in this third period.
Now we're back to where we were in the first period. Yep. I mean, there was really good feel. It was back and forth. There was some jump. And then the Swedish team just took everything away from the Czechs. Took away all their heart and soul and everything through the middle part of the game. But it's back now for the Czechs.
Tellqvist was a Superman in the first period, if you will, but he's been more human here in this third period. They put 2 by. Matthias Olin, far side to Sjögren. You can see it in the way they're skating. The Czechs have that jump back. Vokun leaves it. Had to be tough in the locker room after 2 periods, down 4-0. But they have come to life here. Olin's pass off Naslund. Neutral ice, back up ice. Nice turn there. In deep, a little holding from Sjögren, but play continues on. Around those boards. Held up now by the Czechs. Chinsky's pass, far side. Crossbow shooting it, it's blocked. Picked up by Peter Forsberg. Sweden's on the go. Forsberg and Zetterberg. Drop pass, too fancy there. Picked off by the Czech Republic. Up for number 75, Vlasic. He may get this back. He and Zetterberg bump. The Czech played out to the left point. Quick shot. Deflected wide by Tellqvist. Into the slot it goes. Forsberg skates out. A careful flip as he goes to the bench for a change.
Thomas Vlasic's got a lot of guts. He wants to go up the middle between Nordstrom and Ragnarsson. Those 2 guys are like 2 pinballs out there. They'll punish you. You try to go drive up the middle on them too often.
Sweden on it. Far boards. Jonsson over the line. He's flying. Jonsson for Johansson, who missed the target. And now he's spun around and taken down as play continues. The Swedish fans wanted a penalty.
The ice is getting bad. That puck jumped on Johansson. Right when he went to pull the trigger, it jumped over his stick, and he hardly got any shot at all.
Meanwhile, the Czechs nearly had too many men on the ice, and now they'll bring it up ice, gaining that center line, dumping it in. The chase is on. Paulson's after it. Dug up by Ruchinsky, looking to center it. Instead, he'll flip it. Gaborny trying to center it out in front. Near board pass. Good hard check there by Havlat. Jonsson Intercepted Rucinski. Wrister saved by Telquist. But Bordy redirected it. That's one of the best saves of the night, if not the best one from Telquist.
He's given up a couple of goals in this game, but they haven't been his fault. Telquist continues to be extremely sharp, and he's given this Swedish team life now. They need some.
Banged off the boards. Nielsen after it. Alfredson knocked it down. The Czech Republic fly back. Sikora's over the line. Snaps it high. It goes off the netting. There's a whistle and a break in the action. Sweden 4, Czech Republic 2. Frostbill and Sundin in for this face-off left side of Telquist after Telquist has made a couple of big saves to keep this one a 2-goal game. Flipped around those boards left side. Czech Republic keeping it in. Straka with a puck. Down low. Centering pass is blocked. And Sweden will just send it down the length of the ice. Icing waved off as Vokun came out to play it. Czech Republic have the momentum and also the fresher legs. They did not play last night. Sweden did. We'll see if that has any effect. I know one thing. If the Czech Republic gets the next goal, it will have some effect. Right now, though, Telquist has kept it 4-2.
And early on in the year like this, the players aren't in as good shape as they are later on. And it's hot in here. The ice is not very good. And so the Swedes will be feeling the effects, although they have spread out the workload. They did last night. They spread out the workload again here tonight, and you are dealing with world-class athletes. A couple of them are starting to show the signs a little bit of slowing down, though. Hamelot
backhander saved by Telquist again. He's had to make 3 or 4 big ones here in the third period. A 9-2 edge, now 10-2 actually. I can update myself. 10-2, Czech Republic here in the third.
Telquist has looked good. I mean, for my money, he is still definitely the #1 goalie for Sweden.
He makes that stop off the deflection. It goes to the corner. 4 players battle, including Elias. It comes back to the near side. And it's just going to be cleared. Vokun again out to make the play for Zidlitsky, whose goal made it a 4-2 game. Eric Zidlitsky snaps it in from center ice. Elias leaving it off. Rucinski looks up, finding Elias. Havla tried to set up shop in the slot. Instead, it goes out to the left point. Zidlitsky free at the right circle. Cross rink, left circle, missing Rucinski. Backhander cleared out to the point. Right side, Zidlitsky again. Right back to Zidlitsky. Deflects out center point. Big shot. Hammerlick is deflected wide. Into the corner. Havla tries to center. And Sweden just trying to relieve some pressure here. Can't clear it out. Center point again. Hammerlick's drive, save, rebound, backhander, score on the backhander from Elias. 4-3 now with 5:35 to go. Great comeback, whether they win, lose, or tie it.
The fans in the seats have got their hands on their head. They're looking around going, what has happened? Patrick Elias missed a great scoring chance before this. But look at the touch and the creativity from number 62 right there. Look at this. Backwards, between his own feet, yeah, he got a little bit of luck. But underneath Telquist, prior to that, Elias had a really good cross-ice pass from Zidlitsky from the point, and he just kind of messed it up. He wasn't so much checked as he tried to rush his shot and never accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. But great players, you don't give them 2 chances because they score the second time almost every time.
3 goals in 11 minutes and 13 seconds now for the Czech Republic. It's a 1-goal hockey game. And remember, it's NHL rules. There could be overtime here. It'll be just like the NHL. 5 minutes, 4-on-4 hockey. Big shot from the left side, deflected into the crowd. Don't go away. We've got an exciting one from Stockholm. 4-3. Sweden still leads. Rucinski, Zidlitsky, and Elias, the goal scorers in just over 11 minutes. We have a hockey game now in Stockholm. It was one-sided, a 4-0 Sweden lead, and now it's just 4-3. Czech Republic holding with Crossbow, getting the pads together and squeezing. As Telquist, another face-off is coming up.
Vinny Crossbow has been really good in this game in spurts. There was a time through the middle of the game when he and the rest of the forwards basically disappeared. They couldn't get the puck. They couldn't make 2 passes together. Once they got their jump and once they got that first goal and just got a little bit of a feel, now it's incredibly different.
See 36 shots to 20. The edge for the Czech Republic. Flipped around the boards now by Straka to the near side. That is Jonsson. Banged off the board. Sweden doing everything they can to just clear that puck out of the zone. ESPN2 is your ticket to more great World Cup hockey coming your way tonight and tomorrow night. Tonight at 7 p.m. Team Canada takes on Pavlo Dimitra and Slovakia. Tomorrow, Team USA versus Russia at 7 Eastern. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey right here on ESPN and ESPN2. In Canada, having to go without Ed Jovanovski. That's one of the dangers of these tournaments for NHL clubs. You could lose players. He's out with what we were told was a strained MCL and a fractured rib.
What a shame for Ed Jovanovski and for Canada. Now that's Rob Blake, Chris Pronger, who couldn't even start the tournament and make the team because of injuries. And now Eddie Jovanovski, three of their main key guys over the last couple of tournaments that have been international. Jovanovski out for Canada.
In the corner, that is Axelsson. Just over 4 minutes to go here in this third period. Sellout crowd watching, 13,850 here in Stockholm.
This is a great building, too. The atmosphere is terrific, and the fans have been into this game the entire way.
Right now, they're wondering about the outcome. It was not in doubt at the start of the period. It's in doubt now. The board's clearance by the Czechs. Under 4 minutes to play, regulation time. Icing is the call. Next face-off the other way.
I just want to go back for a moment again to what I was talking about earlier, talking about Jörgen Jonsson and referring to the European game here not having the center red line and not having two-line passes, because it's been considered in the North American game in the NHL taking the red line out. Well, you've got the Finns and the Swedes here for the most part are saying we want it back in. So you have to be careful what you wish for sometimes. It changes the game definitely. It opens it up sometimes, but it creates other caveats that you don't even know about. And Finland would like to put it back in their game, and so would the Swedes.
This game continues on, this tournament, NHL rules, but not involving any of the proposed changes that were talked about during the early summer months. Czech Republic scrambling in their own zone. Reichel lost it there. Forsberg goes after it. Team Sweden up 4-3 with over 3 minutes still to play in regulation time. Backhander in front from Forsberg. It's loose in the slot. And the Czech Republic will pick it up and bang it off the boards. Picked off there.
That was just good hard work. And it was Zetterberg. Zetterberg did most of it along the boards there, setting the tone, and then Forsberg taking the puck from behind the net and just muscling it out front.
Schronquist dumps in as he gained the center line. Frederick Modin spun around. In the corner, that's Alfredsson. Hard work from him from start to finish. Modin as well. That looked like a cross-check unless he got the benefit of the doubt there deep. Flipped up off the boards, and the Czech Republic come back. Across the line, looking for that tying goal. Alfredsson chasing from behind. Jágr plays it out at the point. Hammer like a high shot. And it's deflected behind the net. Czechs looking for three men back deep behind Tellqvist now into the corner. 4-3 Sweden leading. They'll get this puck free. Modin skates it to neutral ice and dumps it. Still over 2 minutes to go. In regulation time, from 60, the Hammerlick shot is blocked. He got it back, flips it in front, but it's behind Dopita. Johansson's pass couldn't clear it out. Zidlitsky in deep. Zidlitsky coming in, and it's blocked. Backhander is blocked as well. Another try from Dopita. Turnaround by Jágr is blocked. Dead center, Hammerlick a high shot, blocked in front. Delayed penalty here. Let's see what the call is in front. Holding call.
Oh, the Czechs were really going for it there. They had tremendous pressure on. Jaromir Jágr was double shifting. He could just smell it, and the great players always do. I don't know who's going to end up with the penalty here. It might even be Jágr, but there was a lot of bodies in front. Oh, Jonsson, Andreas Johansson is going to go. But look at all the white jersey. 4 guys down there. Zidlitsky, the defenseman, had jumped down into the play. He tried to force it through. Jágr was in front. Guys were all over the place. Sweden was hanging on by a thumbnail there, and they were able to do so before they got it down the ice. Andreas Johansson for holding.
So, it was exciting. This entire third period could be even more exciting now with that penalty up there on Sweden. I was about to speculate about pulling the goaltender to try to get that tying point. They don't necessarily have to do that now, and that we have a clock malfunctioning again, so we'll have to check back to see how much time is actually remaining on it. You were talking before about Michael Tellqvist. You noticed something during the commercial break. He's got Borja Salming on his helmet.
Yeah, sometimes they say that goalies have eyes in the back of their head, and Tellqvist has used his own 2 eyes really well, and I think he's got an extra set of 2 eyes on the top of his head, and they belong to Borja Salming, a great star Hall of Fame player of Swedish descent that played about 20 years in the National Hockey League for the Toronto Maple Leafs, where Tellqvist plays. So I think those 2 sets of eyes of Borja Salming are helping out Tellqvist as well. This has been some really good saves from both goaltenders. Thomas Vokoun has made several good saves in this game as well, too. He was shelled through the middle part. Didn't have much chance on the goals that he let in, but it's been Tellqvist has been under siege in the last 10 minutes.
So 1:46 to go in the game. The minor penalty up there on Johansson. Vokoun right now is in goal, but he's out in the high slot area, depending on what happens in this faceoff. He skates to the bench. 2 extra men now for the Czech Republic as they try to tie it. Net's empty as Alfredsson picked it off. Daniel Alfredsson, neutral ice, gaining that center line, then lost the puck. No call there. The crowd's enraged. Played out in front, behind. Now to the left point. Zidlitsky holds. High shot, deflected wide. Now you're hearing the whistles, which is like American booing, as Brian pointed out before.
Daniel Alfredsson was just plain wrong. I mean, that puck had to get down the ice. It turned out to be an excellent scoring chance for the Czech team coming back the other way. Alfredsson should have got that puck all the way deep inside the zone.
From center, dumped in. They're announcing a minute to play in the hockey game. Played out at the point. That shot is redirected behind the net. Sikora looks up. Played it out. Caberlet's shot is wide. Zidlitsky's after. Now it goes behind the net. Flipped in front, never got there. Approaching a half a minute to go in the game. And the jeering continues. Zidlitsky's shot, and not knowing where it was Tellqvist, but he's got it. And that's where you don't dare move.
Zidlitsky's a heck of a player, folks. You've got to keep your eye on this guy. Number 3 for the Czech Republic has been outstanding in this game. That was a great shot on goal. The Czechs continue to move the puck around, putting incredible pressure. And Tellqvist just senses this. He gets over to the post, and I think he was a little bit lucky, too. But we have to give him an awful lot of credit for getting that early position. He was worried about the wraparound. He was worried about that play into the crease. I think Borja Salming's 2 eyes helped as well. And Zidlitsky got that shot right on the short side. Tellqvist made the save.
Off that draw, Elias fires it, and it's just wide as well. Picked up by Caberlet around the boards. Elias again. Glove by Tellqvist.
He's their number 1 guy. Michael Tellqvist is the number 1 guy for Sweden. He has played much better than Tommy Salo did in the win against Germany last night. Tellqvist has been outstanding, and he is holding on by a thread here because the Czechs are they're just motoring. And it's the Swedes who are reacting and counter-reacting to everything that the Czechs are doing right now, but it's Tellqvist that's bailing them out every time.
16-2. Can you believe it? Czech Republic.
Baby.
Shots on goal in the 3rd period. But this is the Czech team we thought we'd see when the tournament started. It took a while for us to see them. They're here.
And this has been a big test for Sweden. I mean, you would like everything to be a solid, nice, natural progression. You just get better and better as the game goes on. That's the way Sweden played against Germany last night. This has not been that way at all.
Face-off coming up to the left side of Tellqvist. Remember, Sweden already used their timeout. The Czech Republic could use theirs if they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think they want to right now. They got so much momentum. I don't think those guys are too tired out there, the Czech team, I mean. And they want to keep the Swedish guys tired out there if possible. But momentum is the key right now.
Clock was adjusted for the up-team time. 19 seconds left in the hockey game in regulation time. Out at the right point. Net still empty for the Czech side. 2 extra skaters. Gavorny behind the net. Has some help. Gavorny looking. It's blocked at the side. Continues the puck movement behind the net. And the Czechs get it. Near circle. That's going to do it. Game over. Nice comeback over the Czech Republic, but they lose.
That's the Czech Republic team that we expected to see. They showed it when they scored those 3 goals in this 3rd period. Big difference. The Swedes know they were a bit lucky. They hung on. Tellqvist was great.
Final score, Sweden wins 4-3. Stay tuned for more great action. Toyota World Cup of Hockey comes your way at 7 tonight. Canada looks for their second win of the tournament against Slovakia. Coming up next, the 2003 San Diego Chargers yearbook. So long, everyone, from Stockholm.